In my notes app, I have the animated scene of Harley farting is funny. And this is not relevant at all.
No.
This is the least relevant way I've ever started a podcast ever. But when you were like on your, remember when the Harley Quinn thing? They were like, oh, we're making a Harley Quinn comic, and her whole power is farts.
Yeah.
Can you beep 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 beep?
What does it mean?
Beep. Yeah, it's working. And her whole power is farts. And we're like, one, this is not even the first time that they've done this, which is absolutely insane. Two, there's a guy on TikTok whose entire thing is he talks to a Harley Quinn statue and he's like, you're going to have to fart 1,000 times. I was like, what a day to be that guy. But three, you made a video being like, it's not funny when they make Harley Quinn fart, right? And then you showed the scene where she's driving around with Nightwing and Batman, and she's in the back, and she's like, hey, Bats, you're going to have to roll down the windows of this car because I got chimichangas cutting me in half.
Yeah.
And then she just lets one rip. And Nightwing's like, you got to open the windows. And Batman's like, it smells like justice. That funny scene.
First off, my video was not me being like, hey, this shit for babies, not funny.
You simply were like, farts are never funny. Hey, buddy, farts are funny. Always have been, always will be.
That movie, I should have provided further context because that whole movie is sexualizing the hell out of Harley Quinn.
Is that the one where Harley Quinn and Batman sleep together?
Harley Quinn and Nightwing sleep together.
That's that one.
Yeah.
She ties him up.
Yeah, she ties him up, and then she gets naked, and then he gets hard, and then she's like, that means he wants it.
Yep.
And then coincidentally, he does.
Yeah, who wouldn't?
Well, she's also a psychotic murderer. That's what I hate about the back.
For those 3 to 5 minutes, that does not matter.
That's what I hate about the back and forth nonsense of Harley Quinn, where it's like, oh, she's just a quirky little zoop kind of girl. She's like a mass insane murderer.
It really depends on the iteration.
Her and the Joker are like domestic terrorists.
Yep.
Bushy hot.
Bushy sexy.
That's
Have you
what
considered that?
It's just so crazy. People got mad about the.
Okay, Dan, can I pose you a question?
Pose it.
What about Poison Ivy?
What about Poison Ivy?
Would you fuck Poison Ivy? Domestic terrorist? Oh, but because you buy into her ideology of trying to turn the planet more green, you're like, oh, you never mind.
Listen,
all those people you killed, that's fine now.
I'm not saying these people aren't hot. I find me a soul who wouldn't have sex with Heath Ledger's The Joker, the most terroristy of them all.
Listen, if you want to ask a harder question, find me a soul who would have sex with Jack Nicholson's The Joker. Because that is a tough hill.
He is such a like ha-cha-cha-cha kind of Joker.
I think he's Tommy gunning motherfuckers.
Yeah. But fucking, they're hot. But my thing with Harley Quinn that's like weird and annoying is that DC loves to like ping pong back and forth between like, oh, she's this like girl boss feminist icon that should also star in like a children's TV show. And like, then on the other half of it, it's like, oh, actually, she's like the Joker's psychologically tortured girlfriend who commits almost a genocide, you know?
But the entire conversation point behind her is that Joker is psychologically broke her.
Well,
which
right.
is why in like most of her independent media, it's her trying to deprogram herself from Joker.
Well, it's funny too, though, that like DC loves deconstructing her in the sense of like, oh, well, like it's fine and it's sympathetic that she does all these things. And I agree, it is sympathetic. Like, I'm not like, oh, we shouldn't have media about bad people.
Yeah.
But people love and are fine when you like deconstruct it with her. And it's like, oh, she's a victim of the Joker. And so all of her like murderous tendencies are sympathetic and fine.
I guess.
Then you give the Joker a movie, and everybody's like, what are we doing humanizing this freak? You know?
When have they ever humanized the Jonkler?
In The Jonkler.
Like,
what?
Joker 1?
Yeah.
The Joaquin Phoenix one.
That's the whole point of it.
Okay.
Is that society is to blame for him.
Who complained about Joker 1? In fact, people complained about Joker 2 being bad because they tried to make the Joker more of a sympathetic character.
My brother.
They tried to peel back everything they established in Joker 1.
the way you're so far from any of the Joker 1 or 2 commentary of the past 5 years, what are you talking about?
Joker 1
what
is
are you walking outside into 1800s England and they're like, extra, read all about it. Dave Crumpet didn't like the Joker 2 because they made him too human. Where are you getting this news?
This is absolute. People didn't like Joker 2.
Correct.
One, because the music wasn't that good, and
I guess.
And 2, because everyone was like, oh, the entire purpose of the movie was everyone being like, what you did was bad, Joker, instead of the Joker just leaning into being the Joker. They were like morally floundering on how the Joker should be in society.
People didn't like Joker 2 because it's like repetitive and stuck in a courtroom the whole movie.
Oh, I get.
And then, did you watch it?
Yes. But the by and far away what people talk about when it comes to Joker 2, as people say they tried to backpedal on all of like the conversation points they made around in Joker 1, because everyone, like all the incels of the world, took up the Joker flag when they were like, it's society that made me this way, because you had to get patted down to go see Joker 1.
That's what I'm saying about Joker 1 though, is that everyone, like a lot of people, not everyone, a lot of people were pissed and were like, oh, the Joker's gonna cause movie theater shootings and this movie's dangerous.
So stupid.
You had to get your ass on a liberal arts college campus in like 2019 or whenever it was, because so many people in my college, like, you couldn't say you were a fan of the Joker because people would think that you're either an incel or like a soon-to-be terrorist.
Okay, see, that's one. I was never on a liberal arts college. I got a real degree. And so...
Yeah, you did. You're right.
That fucking biochemistry, baby. I use it every day.
Bachelor of Science, Film and Photography.
Fucking, it is. It's a B and A. It's
Yeah,
fucking
it's a
science
BS.
and art. That's so funny. But I liked the Joker 1, and like a lot of my friends liked the Joker 1 just because like it was a good story about the Joker.
That's what I'm saying. I love the first Joker movie.
Yeah.
I think it's great. But people were like, this movie's dangerous because it's like,
I
it's
never
saying that killing is fine. Like, not just on my college campus. Like, that was all over YouTube too.
I heard that people had that opinion. I never met anybody with that opinion.
Oh, I met them. They're awful.
I never crossed the path. Like the moral upstanding people shaking their fists at the clouds about Joker 1 promoting killing. Like like Bane doesn't make blowing up an entire football field look sick as shit.
That's what I'm saying. All right. We'll wrap up the Joker rant, but boy, do I have white hot takes on it.
Okay.
Because fucking the movie, so many people, all the people who were pissed about it were these like outrageously like liberal, like wicked Democrat, and I'm also liberal, but they were like the most liberal people you've ever met.
Yeah.
And they're like, what, do politics and movies not matter anymore? What the fuck are we doing? This is a damaging film.
Yeah.
Hey guys, this movie is so goddamn liberal.
Yeah.
It's so pro-free healthcare, anti-rich, pro mental health awareness.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, they're like, no, it's pro-incel and jorking it to strangers.
Yeah. It's all those. It falls into the same category, like categorization of The Boys, where on the surface level you're like, wow, Homelander really is me, and then you're like, everything about this this show is literally showing you that Homelander is like, one, barely believes in the fucking values he spouts, and two, is the bad guy of all of this. But if you look at it, you're like, he's got laser eyes and he's in charge. And it's like, hey, buddy, he has frozen tit milk from his old CEO. Like they infantilize
him. Yeah.
Exactly. It is like that. You're so surface level with it, you don't even understand like that this is clearly the most democratic thing you've ever engaged with. Which is why in the most recent season of The Boys, when they started beating you over the head with it, everybody who was like all the fucking like far right wingers who were like, this is sick, realized like,
well, that's what's funny about The Boys is it tricked right wingers, but I feel like a lot of liberals like knew it from the beginning. The Boys was pretty like universally like popular. Yeah. Because like right-wing people were tricked and thought that like Homelander's the badass. Yeah. And then left-wing people like knew what the show was doing. Yeah. The Joker's interesting because a lot of liberals like just ignored that it was a liberal film.
It's literally it's the story about what can happen in a society that doesn't take time to take care of its citizens.
Yeah.
It's the most fucking socialist thing you could possibly interact with.
Yeah. Anyway, welcome to Otakus Anonymous, where we give you an escape from politics and the inauguration happening right now. But
welcome, baby.
Last thing.
I actually like to peel back everything we said. Homelander is sick, and the Joker is misunderstood.
The joke is funny because it's fucking like everyone was like, yeah, they're making Killing look cool and sexy because Joaquin Phoenix smokes a cigarette on a train.
Yeah.
Heath Ledger makes Killing look so much cooler and so much sexier. When he's in drag in the hospital, looks sick. When he's got his head out the cop car window and his hair is just blowing in the wind. I wanted to kill.
When Rambo in the one where he goes to Vietnam cocks back a 50
You're gonna
cal,
have to be more specific.
Very fair. It's one of the more recent ones.
Yeah,
like Sylvester Stallone is probably too old to
I
be
think
doing
I know
this.
what you're talking. Where he's just blowing dudes up.
When he's got the
on a
fucking, when he's shooting bottle-sized bullets at people and just cutting them in half. As a kid, I was like, I'd sign up for that experience.
Yeah, I showed that. I had a presentation, my like high school senior year.
Oh yeah, that's a video you play in school.
I did so in like AP English class.
Now that we've watched that, I'd like to grab something out of my backpack.
Yeah, this bottle. Watch as I put it through Lindsay's forehead. Do you think her head would stay intact?
Yeah.
Our senior year of high school, we got to like pick just any topic we wanted to do a thesis presentation on.
Okay.
And I picked like violence in media and why it's sometimes rad.
Okay.
And so like I was like, some violence is gratuitous and unnecessary and just for entertainment. Like this. And I showed the entire 6-minute ending of Rambo 5.
Shit. It is Rambo 5, isn't it?
Yeah. And then I was like, but sometimes it's used to elevate themes and like an atmosphere, like in Saving Private Ryan. And then I showed another 7-minute clip of people getting cut in half with miniguns in the beach scene in Saving Private Ryan.
Gotcha, yeah.
And so that
I'm sure there was not a lot of questions after your thesis.
if that was on the first day of school, it would have been my last day of school.
Absolutely.
But thankfully, it was my last day of school.
Was it your senior thesis?
Yeah.
Oh, huge.
Yeah.
Huge for you. You're like, I've been watching a lot of live death to study for this.
It's so funny too because I was really excited to give this presentation because I was very passionate about it. Because my dad was always like, no violent video games.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm smart enough to discern media violence from real violence. Also, violence can be used effectively. And so I was really excited to give this presentation.
You sound like a real good dictator.
Yeah,
You're like, fucking violence is decisive.
Violence can be used effectively. Watch.
Yeah.
But I was so excited to give this presentation. And then there was this girl in my class named Danielle Otta.
Okay.
I'm not joking.
That simply cannot be real.
Not joking.
Danielle Otta?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So, and it was like coming down to the wire of like that. It was the final day to give these. And it was coming down to the wire where whoever would have to go last would have to like do it after class and like hold everyone up or come in. Like the theory was they'd have to like come in on like a summer day and give it because we're running out of time.
Like all the people would have to come in and do it?
No, like just the person giving the presentation.
Ridiculous.
And so we're running out of time and Danielle was like, oh, I hope we don't run out of time. And I was like, yeah, I don't know. But like whoever's last is last. And then she gets up and talks to the teacher. And I was like, oh, I wonder what that's about. And then the teacher goes, all right, Danielle asked if she could go next. So she's going next. And then she goes and then everyone gets to leave. And I have to give my presentation to just my teacher.
Holy shit. But at least you didn't have to fucking have your entire class look at him and be like, he's been watching The Terrifier 3 on repeat to try and study for this.
Well, it's funny because I was like, I get up there, I'm like, I'm sorry. And I just have Rambo with his like fist through a guy's throat up on the board.
I'm just not feeling it today. I'm sorry.
She's like, what's wrong? I was like, I just worked really hard on this, and now no one's
Danielle to see this. I made it for her.
Yeah, I was like, no one's gonna get to see this because we had to sit through Danielle Otta's stupid yoga thesis. Nobody gives a shit that she does yoga. She's not even Indian.
But this guy is. Watch his head explode.
Yeah,
I got this off a live leak. I had to screen record this. You don't understand. You understand? I understand exactly how a body falls when a bullet passes through the cerebellum. It's like this. It's like a disconnect.
It's like 11 minutes of ISIS beheadings.
Look how many swings it took him. It's more than one.
With no commentary.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Oh, good shit.
Well,
good shit.
Yeah. Anyway, in conclusion, Harley Quinn farting isn't funny. It's
Harley
hot.
Quinn farting is funny. How fucking dare you? How goddamn dare you?
Is that the thesis?
That is the thesis. That's what mine would be on. Every single one of Harley Quinn's farts ranked and explained. I'm doing. That's my next video. But before we move any further today, I want to talk to you about the sponsor of today's episode, a company that's keeping me and Danny alive, HelloFresh. See, HelloFresh has been important in my fitness journey for years, and it's just now starting to become important in Danny's fitness journey, as he's trying to pack on weight for our upcoming boxing match. However, eating good foods and learning how to cook is all well and good, but plenty of companies could provide that service. But HelloFresh has a leg up on all of them in the fact that HelloFresh makes sure that all of their ingredients are sustainably sourced, which is why HelloFresh makes it incredibly easy to either skip or donate a week's order. And at the same time, HelloFresh understands that people like me and Danny, sometimes we're on the go, like their produce that comes directly from local farms. So if there's some of you out there who have commitment issues, trust me when I say HelloFresh understands. But it's my commitment to HelloFresh that has kept me as healthy as I've been for the last decade of my life. Because ever since I was 20 years old, I started cooking for myself with HelloFresh, and I learned a litany of skills that made me an absolute whiz in the kitchen, but also taught me about the process of making my food and what went into the meals that I was eating. HelloFresh also provides you with all of the macros of the meals that you're creating, so if you're on a weight gain journey or a weight loss journey, you know exactly what's going into you. And because of that, with HelloFresh, I was able to lose 55 pounds. So what are you guys waiting for? Get 10 free meals today at HelloFresh.com/free otakus. Applied across 7 boxes, new subscribers only, varies by plan. That's 10 free HelloFresh meals at HelloFresh.com/free otakus. It's America's #1 meal kit for a reason.
Do you ever do April Fool's videos? You should.
I don't know. No, I didn't.
I did one.
If I did it, I'd go too far, though. I know I would. I'd be like,
I agree.
I'd be like, I killed Dorothy, and then, like, I just have Dorothy like laying like a fucking, like she just got a shot in the head in the corner, and be like, ha ha ha. And then I'd be like, April 3rd video would be like, I'm in prison. Apparently, can't do that.
Not a prank.
I know, right?
Do you ever see that one video? This was when I was like a senior in high school, where it was like kidnapping my friend prank.
No.
There's this video. I think it's Sam Pepper maybe, but it was this piece of shit dude who would do prank videos. And chat, let me know if you've seen this.
Piece of shit dude who does prank videos. That's redundant.
Yeah, it's definitely not narrowing it down either. Yeah. But there was this dude who did prank videos, and there was one where it was like kidnapping my friend and faking my death in front of him. And it's his friend gets like a burlap sack thrown over his head and thrown into a van.
Holy shit.
And then it's them on like a skyscraper rooftop, like in New York, and they're both tied to a chair. And it's like the friend's like freaking out, and like the guy who's like doing the video is next to him. He's like, it's all right, it's fine, it's gonna be okay. And they're like, where's so and such? And like, we don't know. And then they like put a burlap sack over the the prankster.
Yeah.
And it's got like a blood squib in it.
Gotcha.
They put a sack over his head, and they come up and they pretend to shoot him, and the squib like explodes out the front.
Yeah.
And it goes limp. And then the friend's like bawling his eyes out and like screaming and like trying to rip out of this chair. And then at the end, they're like, dude, I'm totally okay. And the guy's just like, fucking face is soaked in tears, like not into it, obviously.
Holy fucking shit.
It's crazy. It looks like a Batman scene. Like it's like nighttime. It's like 2 a.m, top of a skyscraper.
Oh my God, dude. First off, imagine being, I want to say it's produced because they had to get that guy onto a rooftop without anybody being like, oh, where are you taking that burlap sack, man?
Maybe it's an apartment building.
Yeah.
Like, and they just had people like clear it out. Like it's probably produced, but also this guy was fucking crying.
Yeah,
like pretty intense.
if it was produced, this guy was a fantastic actor kind of thing.
Yeah, it would have launched his career if it was fake.
That's crazy as fuck, dude.
Yeah.
It probably isn't produced because like most prank channels are like just the least talented people you could ever imagine.
Yeah.
But that is crazy as hell. Why did we come to this? Why are we talking
April 1st.
April 1st. Gotcha.
Because you were gonna rank Harley Quinn's
farts, dude. Yeah. I'll absolutely still do it. Top 10 farts in anime.
Fartley Quinn.
That's dude, Fartley Quinn. Hopefully that her comic will be out by then. But anyways, we got a lot to talk about today. I watched more of the Owl House. We got Solo Leveling episode 3.
Nice.
We didn't watch Zenshu because it looks bad. Sakamoto Days.
Oh, we'll talk about it though, because we didn't talk about it last week.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the manga one, right?
Yeah.
You got to talk about it.
I'll talk about Zenshu a little bit here. Sakamoto Days episode 2 came out. And then Castlevania Nocturne Season 2 is out. I'm 3 episodes in.
Okay.
Danny is 1 episode in. And then we got a pretty important Best Boy that I'm very excited to get to. But what do we want to start with? We want to start with my Owl House review here?
Should we get Zenshu out of the way?
Okay, let's do Zenshu. You're right. Because me and Danny sat together and we watched the first 7 minutes of Zenshu.
Explain like what the premise is for anyone who hasn't heard of it.
For those of you who don't remember, Zenshu is the MAPPA original anime that's coming out this anime season. And we're like, MAPPA is only dropping one anime this season, so like maybe it's gonna be worth watching. Like MAPPA has a crazy animation project. This is an original story. But what I found recently.
Well, also, sorry, before you get into like the twist of what it is.
Yeah.
What's super interesting about it, why I was so excited, is because MAPPA has become famous for just abusing the hell out of their animators.
Yeah.
Especially with JJK Season 2, where like animators were tweeting like images, like manga images of like girls hanging themselves with no context. And everyone's like, wow, things must be rough.
Mind you, manga images of girls hanging themselves from manga about animators being abused.
Yeah, exactly. And so this is a manga or a MAPPA original anime about a mangaka who's like strung out and stressed. And we were like, this is gonna start something.
We're like, if anybody can tell this story, we're like, wow, tone deaf, but also at the same time, if you want a team of people who can tell this story, it's fucking MAPPA.
But anyway, so we watched the first 7 minutes.
We watched the first 7 minutes, and we're like, this is gonna be an interesting story about like that's gonna give us a peek behind the curtain of like manga creation, turning it into anime, basically like Oshinoko. Like, it's gonna be a cool like look into the industry. And within the first 5 minutes, the main character, who is a talented animator who gets her own story, and it's basically like Sailor Moon, but she wears a mask, and it like blows up in popularity. Everyone's like, she's gonna direct a movie now, an anime movie, and it's about first love. And she doesn't know, she's never been in love, so she doesn't know how to write it, kind of thing. So she's like throwing shit at a wall to see if it sticks, and nothing's sticking. She's trying to do everything herself. All the other animators on her team are like fucking those Zenshu, I don't remember what her name is. She's like, hey, like, let us help you out. And she's refusing to let anybody help her out. And then she eats an expired clam meal and she gets sent to her childhood favorite movie, and it's an isekai.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah,
what a fucking swing and a miss.
Just a huge rug pull on what could have been a really cool story told by the right people objectively.
Yeah.
And it's just another soulless isekai.
I'd be so much more into watching like just a mature drama about the difficulties working as a mangaka or as an animator.
Yep.
And it's just so nothing. It's so mid.
It's the most bland looking fucking color by numbers isekai you could ever imagine. From the premise to the execution to the graphics to the art design, everything is just straight down the fucking middle.
Yeah, we watched it in dub. The voice acting's great.
Yeah.
The main girl's really good, but what a disappointment.
Yeah.
What a just gigantic missed opportunity. That's like a Mashal with me, where I'm like, I hate that this premise is being used on this thing that I wish was a different thing.
Yeah.
At the very least, though, Zenshu is so different from what I thought it was gonna be that it's not like it's taken the opportunity for like another thing to do it instead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the best, honestly, if you're looking for that kind of thing, though, I'm gonna fucking hammer this point home until you do it.
What story?
It's Oshinoko.
Oh, I see.
It's Oshinoko Season 2. They do this exact thing.
Just got so bored.
They talk about but if you want a mature drama about the difficulties of manga production, Danny, it's Ocean of Go.
I guess so. I guess you're white. When you're white, you're white.
I am white.
Yeah, you are.
Anyways, yeah. So Zenshu, we're not watching it this season.
No.
Because there's no reason to. Like, me and Danny are very well noted in the fact that we don't really enjoy isekai anymore, and this is definitely not going to be a game changer isekai by any means.
Yeah.
It's going to be the character falling in love for the first time, and that's it. All right, Owl House. I am officially on episode, I believe, I don't have Disney Plus on my phone because I'm not a child. I was going to check, but I have it on all the TVs because I sent it to Dorothy's account.
What's happened?
I'm on episode 15, I believe, of season 2.
Nice.
Maybe 16. The most recent episode focused on, was it the Flyer Derby? It might have been the Flyer Derby.
Yeah, Hunter joins the Grudge
joins
Bee
the
thing.
coven, and then so he gets a Penstagram. What was the most recent thing that happened? Now I'm thinking of Soul Leveling. I'm like, fucking Luz is building the elixir of life.
Yeah.
Because that's like more or less what's kind of happening. They're just trying to build the door right now. It's kind of the season's been like, it was so in the beginning it started so plot heavy, and then it was like, we're going back to episodic stuff like the Flyer Derby, all of that. Like they're just kind of like, I feel like they're trying to establish Hunter as a character.
Yeah.
You know what it was?
What?
It was the Rain recap episode where they show how Ida and Rain met.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is one of the big things that I do want to talk about, but I have a couple of notes that I'd like to get to first. First note, I'd be surprised if you even remember this, is Hootie's tongue watch was horrifying.
Yes.
Do you remember Hootie's tongue watch?
Yeah.
It's like a fucking, it's like made of like worms.
Yeah, they're like planning their like their terrorist act.
Yeah,
and he like
their
sticks out his
actual
tongue.
terrorist
Yeah,
attack
yeah.
when they're like piloting Bellows like a fucking mech.
Yeah.
That was so much fun. I love that Hootie's getting more time in the sun in this season. Just because him just like being like chaos reigns as he fucking, and he's just shooting fireworks out of Bellos's, because I think they were trying to kidnap Rain, right? That was the whole reason.
Yeah.
Like Rain basically is getting manipulated by the plant coven head, who apparently has had like a big interest in them like their entire life. And so I thought that was like a really fun way to try and break them out of them. I also wrote, I love the coven head system.
Yeah.
Because I find the coven heads, it's kind of like that thing, right? Where you introduce like a system and then there's people at the head of it, right? So it's the Hashiras.
Right.
But
Yeah.
like, it's like.
No, the Hashiras is like a great example.
Yeah, it's like the Hashiras. It's, there's kind of something similar in Kagurabachi. I'm trying to think of like
Akatsuki?
The Akatsuki, but there's like, I guess the heads would be like Obito and Nagato.
Yeah, I guess so.
But I'm talking about like multiple different.
Yeah.
The Gote 13 is the best approximation in anime. That's what it is. But like you get all these like, you're like, this person's important because they're in charge, and they'll have really interesting character designs. They obviously are all like, they all abide by different kinds of magic.
Yeah.
So there's the Plant Coven head, there's the Abomination Coven head, there's Rain, who's the Bard Coven head. So they've all been really interesting. I like that they're all also kind of morally ambiguous. Like there's some of them like. I like the relationship that the Abomination Coven head has with Hunter.
Yeah, Darius.
Darius, yeah. First off, sick design.
It's awesome.
Such a sick design.
He's always gooping.
Yeah.
His hair is just like this constant string of goop. Yeah.
But I also like that, like, he was like, I was gonna drop off all these, Hunter captured his entire like Flyer Derby team, and he was like, I was gonna drop them off at Hexside. It's about time you stopped listening to Bellows so closely.
Yeah.
Like, I thought that was really cool.
Well, I like the Coven Head thing is sick because I love a boss rush. Like I love establishing a whole like cabinet of bosses.
Yeah.
And then also like up until meeting them, we've only seen like mid-tier magic use.
Yeah.
Like I was like, the Abomination Coven is the worst coven. You make one grimace and he kind of sucks.
Yeah.
But then we see Darius like do crazy shit with Abomination Man. Like he turns into slime and can like slither around or turn into a big monster. And it's like, wow, it's so cool seeing these magic systems at their like mastered level.
You know who I thought was actually, who has a cooler usage of Abomination magic than Darius?
Who?
Amity's dad.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know his name. I don't remember his name, but the blight guy.
Yeah.
He's got on his back, he has like a Gara sand gourd he uses to like fucking like control it like sand with his abomination.
Yeah.
And as Dan Terrace, I believe, is like a really big anime fan. I mean, because
there's anime references all over the goddamn
there's
place.
Like the Yamcha, there's a Yamcha fucking crater. Like they make a Dragon Ball reference. Like there's a lot of like really good.
They make some like. I think they say Monster Slayer or
Yeah.
something at one point. And I was like, whoa, weird to make a Demon Slayer reference.
Yeah.
It's usually just Naruto and Dragon Ball.
Exactly. But like it's new gen, so like
Yeah.
Demon Slayer is. I feel as though Demon Slayer honestly actually holds like for the new gen. Like I'd say Demon Slayer for people 20 and under is massively more important for getting people into anime than Dragon Ball.
I think Attack on Titan's probably the biggest one.
Probably,
but,
yeah.
I mean, I agree with you. Yeah,
I feel like if it's like party lines almost. I feel like for AOT, like it's like AOT for me gets people into like the shonen. Like that's a more of a shonen pipeline. And while Demon Slayer is in a shonen anime for sure, I feel like Demon Slayer, people who get in through Demon Slayer probably end up closer to like, I don't want to say like shoujo, but like definitely like more like they're probably more into like B stars, more into like Bungo Stray Dogs.
Watch
like,
your tongue.
Well, I'm saying,
Watch your tongue with this line of
I'm
questioning.
saying AOT is me, Demon Slayer is you.
Well, it's interesting because I feel like
I don't know how I would categorize the anime you fucking watch.
I feel like the people who watch, like who start their anime journey with Attack on Titan, from what I've experienced, end up watching like an anime here or there.
Yeah.
You know, like they'll hear Chainsaw Man is out and it's like also kind of edgy and shit, and they'll watch that. Or like the Vinland Saga, because they're like, oh, this one's also like for adults.
Yeah.
Like people who start with Demon Slayer become weebs.
Yeah.
I feel like. Because Demon Slayer is like,
There's more you have to accept in Demon Slayer. You have to get through the Zenitsus.
Yeah.
You have to be like, oh,
Right.
he screams, but eventually you'll love him.
they also all look young. Like even Tengen, who I think is like 30, looks like he's 14.
Tengen's like 22?
That's the same age.
Oh, Tengen. I'm sorry.
Tengen.
I thought you said Rengoku. Which I
I mean, he could also be like 22. You could get married at like 16.
Tengen is 23. I almost nailed it, actually. Yeah. None of the Hashira are like crazy old because,
Yeah, you don't last long.
They all fucking die. Yeah.
Well, even their master, who I assume is in his 40s, the guy who looks like Android 16,
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. I don't remember his name.
just look, or 17, 18, one of them, 17,
17 is
the boy, yeah.
16 is the
big boy.
big boy. Yeah, the one who gets his head crushed.
But even he looks like a little baby boy man. Everyone looks chibi in Demon Slayer.
Yeah. Especially when they're drawn as chibis.
But that's what I mean, where it's like, I feel like Attack on Titan, a lot of people, like they know it's anime. Everyone's screaming all the time.
Yeah.
But a lot of people watched it and they're like, oh, it's not like anime. Like there's no boobs.
Yeah.
And there's no like this.
No
there's
one's
no
yelling
that.
their moves.
Yeah, there's no school.
Yeah.
There's no blasts. There's no laser
There
beams.
objectively is a school arc, but yes. When they're training in the beginning.
It's like so quick.
It's school adjacent though.
I guess so. But yeah, there's a lot of things that people think are like anime specific tropes that are actually just shonen specific tropes.
Yeah.
So they'll watch Attack on Titan and then they'll be like, I'll watch a One Punch Man or something, like outlier anime. Demon Slayer fans will spawn into like, they'll be like, I'll check out My Hero now, and I'll check out
Assassination
JJK.
Classroom or some shit.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, you're caught. You're in it.
Yeah.
The second that you watch the Koro Sensei just dodge bullets,
Yeah.
you're done. What's the point of no return in anime?
Explain?
Like, what do you think? Like, is the anime you watch? If you've seen this anime, you're a weeb. Like, what do you like? If you're
In
like,
terms of like, if you say you've seen it, people are like, you're an outcast, or you watch this anime and you're like, I can't stop now. Like, and there's a whole world of media.
so Attack on Titan is not the point of no return.
Yeah.
Naruto is not the point of no return. Dragon Ball is not I would even say Demon Slayer is the point of no return. There's absolutely people out there who have seen Demon Slayer and only seen Demon Slayer. If somebody says to you, oh, like you're like, oh, I'm watching this right now, and they're like, I've seen that, you're like, oh, this person's a weeb. Like they're in it. Is it like the disastrous life of Psyche K?
I was gonna say like Black Clover.
Black Clover.
If someone's like, I watch Black Clover, I'm like, oh, name 11 other anime I know you're watching. You know what I mean?
Because Black Clover is like the 5th most popular shonen of a genre, like of like an age, right?
Yeah.
Like I would say like Black Clover falls behind like Hunter x Hunter, Demon Slayer, Attack on Titan.
It's also like generic enough that
if you're
like
enjoying it, you're probably
you'll go look for other things. Like someone, because I know people who've just watched Naruto.
Yeah.
And I get the feeling of like, I've seen people be like, yeah, I love Naruto, but like I can't get that feeling elsewhere. And I get that. Like Naruto is like weirdly specific.
Yeah.
Where it's like right between JJK and My Hero in terms of like edginess. Like 7 out of 10 characters are scary as fuck.
Oh, absolutely.
Like all of
When Kokoro pulls up and just puts a dude in a fucking box and then stabs him,
Yeah.
you're like, oh.
Konkoro, scary. Gar's first sand coffin, scary as hell. He explodes a guy.
Juices a dude.
Juices a man. Shikamaru, everyone's power has like an edge to it.
Yeah.
Because with My Hero, even though the powers are really like creative and cool, with Naruto, there's an understanding that everyone is going to use their power to be an assassin.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's got the like same school structure as like My Hero Academia.
Yeah.
And like, so yeah, I know.
Imagine if Shoto was just putting people in ice boxes and like let them freeze to death
like,
or some shit, or like putting people in ice boxes and like
and then
boiling,
burning the inside. Yeah.
like boiling the ice under them and
Yeah.
steaming them. Like,
That's what would happen in Naruto. And
Yeah.
honestly, that's a good video.
oh, that'd be sick as hell. Like the way that MHA characters would like
Respond in Naruto. I did so.
Pretty dope.
I'll hand it off to you.
Yeah.
But because I did a TikTok once where I was like, we got to start acknowledging that Naruto is just scary My Hero Academia.
100%.
And people got mad because they thought I was implying that Naruto came after.
No.
But it's just scary My
You
Hero.
could just say MHA is pacified Naruto,
Yeah.
but that's also it's the same thing.
it's more of a zinger to say scary or
100%.
blank. But yeah, you should make a video like that.
I'm trying to think on it. Like Sero would like, man, some of them just wouldn't.
They'd all
translate.
do a coffin thing in my head.
Yeah,
you
they're
know?
all just squeezing motherfuckers, right?
They just-
I like Tokoyami. Like Tokoyami would be like a Bijou, right? Or Takoyami.
You should do new tuning exam. Class 1A transfers to fucking whatever, Konoha Academy. And they're all
If
doing.
Class 1A was dropped in the force of death, they'd start killing. Do you think?
Do you have to? You don't have to
You don't
kill.
have to, but like others are, you know?
Who would? Bakugo would kill.
Bakugo would 100% kill.
Is the idea of villains and heroes gone? Is it just you're all ninjas?
You're trying to become a shinobi. That's what you do in the tuning exam.
Then because
Bakugo kills.
Because the school is Bakugo's never killed. Oh,
But no,
but
he
in
would
this
kill.
tuning exam, yeah, Bakugo kills.
I feel like Shoto kills.
Shoto kills.
Yep.
Shoto starts killing. Deku reins him in eventually. Like he learns to stop
I
killing.
like that. I like that a lot.
Sue kills. Sue kills a motherfucker.
Sue kills?
Sue kills like it's nobody's
Sue
business.
you, as in fucking Froppy kills.
Yeah, Froppy kills like it's nobody's business.
That Froppy just like connects her chin, like her like sticky like tongue to somebody's chin and just snaps it.
Froppy just like shoots her tongue. It goes right into somebody's throat and she doesn't take it out until they suffocate. Like, yeah,
That would be sick as hell.
no, but who else? Like that guy with the speech thing, he kills.
Oh, I know. It's Shiro.
Yeah, Shiro kills.
Shiro's just telling people, just like go kill each. It's basically just mind possession jutsu.
Yeah.
It's just Ino, but better.
Yeah.
I feel like Tokoyami kills, but like non intentionally, right? Like the fucking the dark bird takes him over, and then he's just squishing motherfuckers.
Yeah, he'd kill for sure. That's a good call.
Weird take here, Jiro.
Yeah.
Think
Jiro's
so?
like a Tamari.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I was going to say. You put him in the tuning exams. One-on-one fights. Who's going up against who? I think it's Jiro and
Tamari. Would be cool.
Tamari.
Sound waves.
That'd be yeah, because you could hit him back.
Yep. That'd be kind of
That'd be sick as hell.
the Konoha. So if you wanted to do, there's the Konoha 12, and then there's the Sand siblings. That's 15, and then if you put Kabuto in there, that's 16. There's 19 members of Class 1A.
Here's what you do. Do you do good matchups? Like Jiro and Tamari, that is a matchup.
Yeah.
Makes sense because they have similar enough powers, but in a way that they can counter each other almost equally. Or do you do total opposites where it's like Denki and Gaara?
Denki and Gaara.
A literal fucking Pikachu Onyx situation.
Okay, but so the beauty of that situation, actually, no, that wouldn't really work well for Denki, unfortunately, because so Gaara has a son named Shinki in Boruto, and a legitimate defense against Shinki is like using lightning release because he uses iron sand. But unfortunately, because like Gaara just uses regular sand, Denki wouldn't have like any option there.
What does
But,
this guy look like?
Gaara, man, I was gonna say, depending on what iteration of Class 1A you put in there, like I'm telling you right now, Shoto would actually do really well in the tuning exams.
Oh, yeah.
Like the scale
yeah.
at which Shoto was able to use ice and fire release would probably like allow him to win the tuning exam.
Yeah, I don't know who's beating him. Like, Sasuke's...
Rock Lee is probably your best shot.
Rock Lee couldn't beat Gaara. So Rock Lee couldn't beat Gaara, then you're saying that Gaara would win. You know?
Yeah, but like, all right, so like water is like a well-known-ish defense against like sand release kind of thing. Like it's like one of the defenses against Gaara in the Fourth Great Shinobi World War is the fact that Gengetsu Hozuki, the second Mizukage, is able to basically liquefy himself to get out of water release.
Hose shouldn't be in that guy's name.
What?
Hose should not be in that guy's name.
As in Gengetsu Hozuki?
Yeah, like you can't make a water Hokage and put hose in his goddamn
fucking
name.
Hozukis, and they all have incredibly high level water release. So I didn't thought of the fact that hose is in his name. Man, Gaara would give Shoto a good fight.
Here's the thing, though. Shoto can't make ice into water instant.
I guess, but
it turns into steam, you know?
Yeah.
Like, the best he can do is steam. The best I can do is steam for you.
They both have, like, Chunin Exam and Sasuke Retrieval Arc Exam. Gaara and Shoto have similar feats. If you took the MHA characters, Class 1A, if you took them from their, what's the class? The class war one, when they're all fighting.
Oh, like...
When they're basically doing their Chunin Exam.
Yeah.
You took them both from equal arcs. Shoto covers that entire area with ice when he's battling against Deku, right? Like, it covers the entire battlefield with ice. Comparably, the only similar feat that Gaara has of scale without the usage of Shukaku is when he's fighting against Kimimaro when he covers the entire battlefield in sand and then sand coffins that shit.
Yeah.
Man, that'd be a good fight.
You know who'd have a really high chance at winning?
Who?
Mirio.
Mirio, but he's not Class 1A.
But I mean, okay, well, now I'm just kind of taking people.
Okay, gotcha.
From My Hero. I think Mirio has a really good chance.
I'm trying to think of people that would have a hard counter to Mirio. I'd like to think that Byakugan would work against it.
I don't even...
Right?
That's good. Well, if you can hit him. I don't even know how Mirio loses... Like, I think Mirio against most of the My Hero universe wins. The only reason he lost his quirk was because he was protecting Eri.
I guess, yeah. I mean, like, he, like, very clearly shows, like Shigaraki kind of gives us the blueprint, right?
Yeah.
Like, he's like Shigaraki's able to keep him at bay, and, like, Mirio's like, oh, you can't hit me, but Shigaraki's like, yeah, but you can't do damage to me.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like, oh, just have durability high enough that Mirio can't really do shit to you.
Yeah.
Mirio is a good choice. Gaara has, like, the best kit against it, but Mirio would be able to just, like, phase through his mother's sand.
Yeah.
So Mirio could
what I'm saying.
Mirio
Yeah,
could
he
do
just
like a
goes through
Sasuke
sand.
punching like a fucking Chidori through Gaara's sand there.
Yeah, I guess so, though. It's like the good counter to Mirio is just kind of outlasting him. Fill the whole area with sand.
Yeah.
And then he's kind of fucked because he has to come up for air. Like, he can't go in the ground for indefinite.
And so he has to pop up at some point.
Yeah.
But like the second that he pops up is the problem. Is like he can just make parts of his. It's then like Mirio has Kamui. Like he has a worse version of Kamui, like but also like kind of a better, like also kind of like a better version of Kamui, where that like you know doesn't like destroy his eye while he uses it. But damn, that's a fun video. I'm gonna make that.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'll do like a short form thing and then. I'll use my blade. And then pass it off to you. I feel like that's a good combo because God, do I want to talk about this? I feel like it's good if I just like rattle off some jokes and some random theories, and then you could either not acknowledge me at all, which is fine, or you could be like, this idiot doesn't know what he's talking about. Here are the numbers.
Practicing for our anime debate, bro.
Yeah.
We'll do Mirio versus Gaara.
Yeah, we gotta figure out what our fucking debate is.
We have 7 months. We'll be okay. You got time.
God, I'm excited for that video. Not the boxing one, yes.
I was gonna say the boxing one.
My Hero against Naruto characters in the Chunin exam is literal power scaling. I know you hate that, but that is so fun to me.
Hey, brother. It's become a big part of my job.
Well,
hey, when you run out of content, eventually the characters gotta punch each other.
Yeah.
That's just the way that it goes. Is that our Owl House review?
You can keep going. I guess.
Cool. And I said, loved Ida's dad episode.
Oh, it's really good.
It's really good.
Yeah.
Everything about Ida is, crazy as it sounds, the strong point of this season.
Oh, yeah. Dude, when she's talking to her dad and she's like, you know, have you gotten back into like talisman carpentry? And he just lifts up an incredibly shaky hand.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
Hey, dad, fucking chill with that.
I am. You fucking lie to her or something. I don't know.
And then like every time like they're talking, like mid conversation, he's just like shaking.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Jesus Christ, this is heavy.
Yeah, it's a lot, dude.
Yeah.
Because like the way that you see in the flashback, it's like, oh, Ida turns into the owl and like she slashes her dad.
Yeah.
You see him like lose an eye.
Yeah.
But you know, like it was never like said that like he got like like Parkinson's from it,
Well,
right?
that's the thing. Yeah, I'm like, oh, losing an eye is like classic cartoon. Like, you've never seen a character lose an eye and actually struggle with like depth perception, you know? So it's like, that's cosmetic.
Yeah.
I've never seen like nerve damage taken into effect.
Yeah, like he's like actually like really fucked up.
Yeah.
I do like that he's working with the Bat Queen.
Yeah.
And it's like somebody else is gonna be able to take over for me. And then it's like say hello to Albert, which implies that he made Albert. Like I like a lot of like a really cool, as somebody who has dad issues, a really cool episode. I then wrote Hunter is the Zuko of this universe.
I've been saying that, yeah.
That's just blonde Zuko.
Even before
with the scar.
Even before you met him, I was like, you're gonna meet this show Zuko pretty soon, and he's cool. Yeah,
Gotcha. Because he's just like on his way to becoming like. I loved when he gets a Penstagram after like dealing with Darius, and then like he's like Luz is like trying to keep up with him, and he's like, "Don't text me back," and then he sends her a photo of his like palistrum, and it's like,
he's like, that was for somebody else.
He's like, that was for somebody else. And like, who's that for?
Yeah,
who's that for? Amity?
Who do you think it's for? Because there's someone.
Is it Amity?
No, you'll find out.
Isn't it Kikimora? No, I don't know if they're trying to mend that relationship.
I'm all over the place with loving and hating Kikimora. When she's like kicking her feet and crying and like she's so cute and funny, but she just won't stop being a dick.
She's just she's the other side Basha of this story. She's just she's trying to climb the corporate ladder. And you know what? God bless her. I understand it. And then I wrote in all capitals, Rain is a double agent. Sick twist.
Yeah.
When he's working with some kind of abomination, like it's either he's working with Darius or he's working with Amity's father, but like some abomination like brings him a note, and they're like, "Oh, how are we gonna be able to like beat Emperor Bellos? What's he trying to do?" And they're like, "We need the Owl Lady." And he's like, they're like, "I'm not endangering fucking Ida again.
Yeah.
Like I'm not doing that again. So you realize that they've just been playing along with the Red Coven head, like either not taking the medicine or the medicine doesn't work on them somehow. Like I have no idea how it works, but like they're a double agent and they're like actively plotting for the Emperor's demise, which is sick. I love them as a character.
Yeah. Did you like the bit where like in the backstory he's like, yeah, these drinks suck, but I can blow in it and like change it to something delicious? First off, sexy as hell move.
Sexy as hell move.
What a great party trick they have there.
But then you just gotta hope everyone's buying shitty juice for the rest of your life.
Yeah, true. Yeah, then cheap gin turned into good gin, I guess.
Yeah.
But did you like how that came back and they had the like poison mind control chalice or whatever, and then they like blew into it and like
that what they would do?
They like detoxified it.
Shit, I didn't realize that.
Yeah. Isn't that cool?
What? What's going on? Hello.
Hi, Blimbo.
Hello, Schmungo Amungo.
Hi, Blimbo Baggins.
Blimbo Baggin. They're in Bing again.
They're in Bing again.
That's him, dude. That's him by... wait, hold on. You make me nervous.
You crying blood, buddy?
Yeah. He finally unlocked his MS.
I wish vets talk to your dog the way you talk to your dog.
Yep.
Where they're like, what's going on here? Is this a cancerous tumor?
Oh, buddy. Mine kind of does.
Yeah.
You son of a bitch. You cord blind asshole. Schmungo Amungo.
I want this as
Schmungy.
I want this as a tattoo. It's Psyduck with a briefcase and a scarf, and it just says corporate slave
under it. That's awesome. That's all. Oh man, what a terrible universe the Pokemon universe would actually be, dude. Who do you think the working class Pokemon are?
Machamps and Machokes.
No, he's fighting. Machoke, yes. Machoke.
They're lifting shit.
Oh, you're right.
They're movers. I have a Pokemon card of them moving a woman into her apartment.
They're always construction workers.
Yeah.
Fuck. Are they like the indentured servants?
Yeah.
Because they have 4 arms and are strong.
What, like, you're not going to see a fucking Arcanine, like, in an office.
Yeah, what job is Onyx doing?
Yeah, exactly.
Fuck, man.
Onyxes should be extinct. They're too fucking big.
They are too big.
They're rock monsters. You can't eat them.
But Pokemon don't eat. But no one's eating Pokemon.
I guess Pokemon don't eat. Pokemon should eat other Pokemon.
Pokemon should absolutely eat other Pokemon. But
they eat berries.
They're eating berries.
Yeah.
There's enough berries to go around.
Berries and candy.
Yeah. I mean, that's basically how you survive.
Yeah, that's fucking true.
And you're not leveling up anytime soon.
We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, you did just get a boxing coach.
I did just get a boxing coach, and I did just run a 40-minute mile, so...
40-minute miles, very impressive.
Oh, yeah.
I could do that on my knees.
Dude, by the time our fight is ready, I'm going to be fucking Scooby-Dooing across that thing.
Okay.
My legs are going to be doing 360 motions.
If by July you can run 3 miles, I will be, continuously without taking a walking break, I will be slightly nervous.
Oh, yeah?
Slightly nervous.
Oh, yeah?
Because I'll be like, oh my God, he'll be able to actually box until the end of this match.
Mm-hmm.
Every round of boxing, mind you, is, I'd say, a mile. It's like running a mile.
Yeah.
And if you can't do that in 7 minutes, it's gonna be tough for you.
Easy peasy. Dude, in 5th grade, I ran an 8-minute mile.
In 5th grade, I ran a 6.5-minute mile.
I don't believe you.
It was immortalized in colorful cardboard paper right outside my gym, baby. It said Nick Connor. I was in 3rd place because another kid ran it in 5.5 minutes.
My God.
I know, we were
fast kids.
It was fucking. We were competition with each other.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, he had long legs. Anyways, last note here is it's wild how everybody in Rain's life uses they them so casually. I think it's really cool that it's never it's you to me said that I think Rain is canonically non-binary. And I just was gonna say ambiguous. I don't know why
they're ambiguous about it.
Yeah, but
it's are you non-binary? Yeah. I don't know.
Maybe. And you're like, that's a non-binary ass answer. And so it's never talked about. It's never no one ever sits lose down to be like, oh, we use they them with Rain. It's just everybody, and it's everybody in Rain's even the people who don't like them. That's the craziest part to me. It's there's the wild, they do the backstory between Ida and Rain's show how they met. And there's they split them into wild witches and coven witches. And basically Ida has to go catch Rain. And even the people who are plotting against Rain and they're oh, we're gonna get them, all use they them. And I was wow. They're talking about they hate them, right?
Yeah,
Everyone's oh, we fucking hate Rain. He's here. They're here every year. I'm worse than them.
Yeah, right.
They're here every year, and they're fucking always winning, and yet they still use they them, and it's just so naturally casual and respectful. It's just very cute.
Yeah.
I like Dan Terrace. I like the story.
Dana Terrace.
Dana.
Oh, it sounds like you're saying Dan.
No, Dana Terrace. Dana Terrace.
But there's a lot of great just casual diversity in the Owl House, which is arguably the best kind of diversity.
I just
when
remember-
it just happens and it's not I don't know. I mean, it's you can never win because having casual diversity is great because it's oh, this is just a living, breathing world. And if I met a non-binary person just at an event or at school or whatever, odds are I would never hear their traumatic non-binary awakening story.
Exactly.
So it's why should every show give it? Mm-hmm. But at the same time, there are so few examples in media of non-binary trauma or just a non-binary experience that you with your daddy issues.
Yes.
You're man, it's so cathartic and I feel seen when this show is able to relate to me and also display a good example of something I've been through.
Yeah.
And a lot of non-binary, gender fluid, trans people don't have that.
Yeah.
Because people are either too afraid to put in their shows or people bitch about it and then you'll get a casual trans person and people will be oh, does everyone have to be trans? So it's if you do it casual, then you miss out on some more nuanced and harder hitting experiences of those people. But then also if you do it every gay character in a show has to have a father who hates that they're gay.
Yeah.
Then it's just oh, we're doing this again. And then the LGBT community doesn't even like it.
I think it's less a you can't win situation. I think there's just positives to both, right?
Yeah.
It's introducing it casually makes it feel as though for all of those who identify with Rain are this is the way a system should treat me and therefore find identity with that. But at the same time, telling stories is also important.
Yeah.
And that's as far as I made it. So do you want to talk about Sakamoto days?
Sure. You sent an interesting text.
I sent an interesting text. Oh, you're going to read it.
Yeah,
I was hoping these would remain private. I thought we were going to do only Danny hates things on the podcast from now on.
I'm so excited, and I'm glad you're bringing this up. I can't wait for a week of our stupid asshole editors plucking all of your bad takes and chopping it up so all the nuance is gone.
I really like how Danny's been the bad guy for the last week for the first time in the history of our content together.
Nick goes,
oh, here we go.
Sakamoto Days is like the idea of a good anime. Like, I genuinely cannot put it into words. Like, it does all the things that would make it a good anime, but it's almost like soulless, but that feels harsh.
You know what they're going to do?
Just do that, and then it's going to be you being like, wow, that's crazy, Danny,
that's
from
crazy,
like 40
Danny.
minutes.
I'm actually really enjoying Sakamoto Days.
I fucking hate you.
It's nuts that you just said that out loud. Wow. The number 2 most popular anime out there right now, and you don't like it.
God, I hate you.
Wow.
That's going to be the clip. I know it.
You fucking mega-minded, bitch.
God.
No, it's... I still don't know how I feel about Sakamoto Days. Like, Sakamoto Days to me is, Nick, huge bad take.
Already.
Yeah, Dan,
already.
You're the one who said it.
In our inner circle.
Yeah, but you're the one who said it.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about Sakamoto Days. Like, I genuinely, like, I really want to enjoy it. I like the manga, but just like, I don't know if it's one of those rare situations where I enjoy the manga, but like, for some reason, watching it penned to anime, I'm like, I feel a slight disconnect.
Well, what's the difference? What do you like about the manga that isn't in the anime?
I mean, the manga is just like, it's a cool assassin story that, like, I think as though like the comedy has become. It's like when I read the comedy, it's like funny in the manga, and I'm like, oh, this is fun. And then like for some reason, the comedy almost feels like more tropey in the anime or something.
You
like
don't
that.
think the jokes translate as well?
Something like that. Yeah, like it's just not hitting in the way I want it to hit. Like, it feels to me like a paint by number story that's getting to all the right story beats that like one would enjoy. Because here's the thing. The beginning of Sakamoto Days is hardly any different from the beginning of Kaiju number 8. Like, it's like, oh, like there's like an ultra powerful being is introduced. That ultra powerful being is used sparingly. A new character in Reno/Shin is introduced, and then an additional third like deuterogonous female character in Kikuru Shinomiya and Lou is introduced by like episode 2 or 3.
I feel like it's more One Punch Man than Kaiju.
I guess
Because the psychic is like Genos for sure.
Oh, 100%, yeah. And you know that's in Sakamoto, and Sakamoto is Saitama. But there's no tertiary character in One Punch Man, at least this soon. Like, eventually you get Terrible Tornado, you get Blizzard, and they become, like, more tertiary characters. But, like Sakamoto Days, because Sakamoto is such, like, a non-defined presence in his own story, that, like, you kind of have to get a lot of the story from the likes of Liu and the likes of Shin. So I did love the little, like, cut back in this episode to, like, oh, Sakamoto being covered in blood and Miss Sakamoto being like, oh, if you're going to keep killing, I don't want to be with you, and just hurtling herself off a cliff. Like, that was fun. And it's like, I don't know. Like, it's just, I'm not going to say I don't enjoy Sakamoto Days. I do. I'm going to watch every episode. But, like, for some reason, I'm just not fully into it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's crazy.
Oh, yeah.
That's crazy of you. This is the best anime anyone's ever made since Sonic 3.
Oh, yeah. Since the critically acclaimed Sonic 3. I'm so excited for the Sonic 4.
Yeah. I'm also medium on it. But, like, the animations... The reason I almost want to, like, radicalize for Sakamoto Days is I keep seeing people shitting on the animation.
Really?
And the animation's great.
It's great.
It's really good.
The art style isn't awesome.
The art style's weird, but that's like the manga's fault, right? Like that's just what it looks like.
It does not look like the manga.
They add an interesting texture on top. Have you noticed? Like the color has a weird texture as if it's like on tea-stained paper that they colored on top of. And I don't dislike it. I actually like it because it's like an extra layer of like passion in my eyes where it's like, oh, that's something different. Yeah. You know, like that's something they didn't have to add, but they're like, let's make this not look like every other anime.
You know what the thing is? But I'd argue that it doesn't look like every other modern anime, but it kind of looks like an anime from 2013, does it not? Does not look like it looks like a well-animated anime from 2013.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because like it's drawn in that 2013-ish style, that like mid-10s, like that mid-10s like decade style. Yeah. And then there's been updates to animation styling that make it like a distinctly like 2020 anime. Like the best thing,
it looks like Shaman King or something, you know, or Rave Master.
Yeah, the way I would talk about it is like I would identify like Wistoria and like Solo Leveling and Demon Slayer as blue. Like
okay,
they're like there's like blue hues, but also shiny. Like I said, I'm struggling to find the words here to describe like what makes Sakamoto Days feel like lesser than for me.
Yeah.
But like a lot of the hues of Soul Leveling and Demon Slayer and Wistoria and a lot of these new gen like super hyper animated shows is blue, but also there's a shininess to them. Like genuinely, like something about Sakamoto Days to me feels muted. Like whether it's the color palette or just like the way that they're like choosing to color the backgrounds or something, like it feels muted to me. These new anime feel as though like the bright lights of flames shine on the screen. Like when you see Tanjiro using Hinokami Kagura, like genuinely, like it's like bright, like flashes the screen. Yeah, I feel like you wouldn't get that from this.
This has the color palette that Mappa uses a lot when I hate their color palette. Like it looks like Attack on Titan Season 4's color palette. It looks like JJK Season 1's color palette. It looks like Tokyo Revengers a bit.
That might be it. That might be it. Yeah.
And it's funny because I actually...
Not the animation quality. That's what we're... Like, the animation quality, the fight scenes are very well choreographed, and the animation quality is good. We're talking colors and art style.
It's funny because I was trying to find it just now. I should have taken a screenshot, but I saw, like, an Instagram post where someone put a image of, like, or, like, a video compilation of Fate and Demon Slayer and stuff like that, and they're like... This is what Sakamoto Days should look like. And then under that was a comment of someone being like, I hate that modern anime has tricked people into thinking that like shiny and colorful equals good animation.
Yeah.
Because it's not that Fate and Demon Slayer don't have good animation, but people... Because I've seen a lot of videos talking about this actually, where people will now look at like a Studio Ghibli thing from the past or like, you know, an anime where the motion is like perfect and it looks like real life, but it's not like super shiny or photorealistic, but it's like someone gets out of bed and all the covers move realistically and they like get their hair out of their eyes and stuff. And people are like, man, what is this like mid-ass animation? And it's like, just because something doesn't look like like an 8K wallpaper on your 4K monitor doesn't mean it's bad animation. Like Sakamoto Days
it's not poorly animated at all.
I'd say objectively, has like really well done animation.
Yeah.
Art style wise, it's a very mid 2000s.
It just feels like a decade behind art style wise. And like maybe that is my brain being tricked into thinking that shiny equals good. But at the end of the day, like I feel as though...
Well, did you feel this with like JJK? Because JJK Season 1, I also was like, this looks mid 2000s.
I could see you making the argument for JJK Season 1 for sure.
Season 2 is a very modern,
very, very modern take on animation. But even Season 1, fundamentally, well, one, the character design. I love the character design of JJK, and I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I don't like the character design of Sakamoto Days.
Sakamoto's funny and good. Everyone else. This episode has been like bland as hell.
Yeah, and so like it's like the character. I'm not even like on a character by character basis. I mean like the actual way in which they're drawn.
I see.
Lou looks better in the manga to me at least. Shin definitely looks better in the manga. His eyes are so high. And this is a gripe that I had with Kaiju number 8, where I was like, oh, I like the anime. Like I just feel as though we're not nailing the anime take on these people from the manga. But like I love the way that like I actually did enjoy the way that Season 1 of JJK was animated, just because like one, the fight scenes were incredibly well animated and choreographed, but two, because I just like found the character design of the JJK characters more appealing. Like I like the way that Nobara looks more than Lou. I like the way that, you know, Yuji and Megami look more than Shin and Sakamoto.
Right.
You know, that's like, so like fundamentally that carries a lot like more weight for me.
Yeah, dude, the top videos, when I look up Sakamoto Days manga versus anime, first things that come up, I don't understand the hate towards Sakamoto Days. Under that, does Sakamoto Days actually look bad? Under that, Sakamoto Days situation is crazy, and like the thumbnail implies it's about the animation.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
I haven't heard anybody personally, like, it's kind of like Joker, people being like, oh, I feel so represented by the Joker. Like, Sakamoto Days is one of those things where I haven't heard anybody saying the animation is bad. I feel like we've just, like, tricked ourselves into believing this.
What animations do... Okay, so here's a side-by-side.
Okay.
What animation studio or style do you want to see that in instead? Because they do look different. I'm looking at a side-by-side screenshot here, and it's of young Sakamoto from the manga and, like, this.
You have 64 tabs open, mind you. I'd like to establish that for everybody. 1 second. I'm doing a thing. All right, so Nanami hair grab.
Okay.
So I want you to look at the differences between how Nanami, because, like, in that moment, this is a very, like, comparably tone-wise, Nanami, when he's snagging that dude by the hair, I feel as though that's a comparable tone where, like, he's, like, this, like, powerful man, and he's, like, walking down a hallway. He's, like, asserting physical presence. That's...
God, I forgot
how fucking sexy he is.
I forgot how many fucking shadows they drew.
Well, that's the thing. So it's like it's a multi-layering of shadows. For the anime like version of Sakamoto, you'll see that they're only using one layer of shadow.
I didn't know I could see my tabs. I was like, what are you talking about? And I found the number 65.
Yep, 65 tabs you have open. Wow. Yeah, it's a lot.
I didn't know I could not have these.
That's absolutely insane.
I have 99 plus inactive tabs.
That is absolutely... So every day, you're just popping a new tab for anything that you need.
Yeah.
Thank God you have the new iPhone.
Well, anyway, go on. I'll be over here clicking
closing
X.
out of tabs.
Just closing out of all of them.
That's the important thing that's happening right now. So, like, listen, I'm not going to sit here and you'll never hear me say that Sakamoto Days animation is not good. But something about the art style does take me a step back, and I find that unfortunate because I enjoy this story. Yeah. But at the same time, it just might be the fact that, like, this is Sakamoto Days is not a unique story.
Yeah.
An assassin tries to get out and it has to go back in, kind of thing. Like, and it's just like, oh, cool, a story about entire, like, so, like, I'm gonna enjoy Sakamoto Days, but in the same way that I enjoy, like, Dr. Stone.
Okay.
Like, it's like you know what I'm talking about, Dr. Stone? I'm like, oh,
it looks like Dr. Stone.
That is probably the most apt comparison because Dr. Stone also looks like it's from the mid 2000s.
Yeah.
Like, it's like Dr. Stone is well drawn and it's well animated, but it's never going to blow you away. Yeah. And Sakamoto's animation choreography blow me away, but, like, I'd say Dr. Stone's art style is a little bit better than Sakamoto Days. So, like, I'm just going to enjoy Sakamoto Days in the way that I enjoy Dr. Stone, which is I'm going to watch it, but you're never going to hear me, like, take up the flag for it, you know?
Let me see what my notes were. I had none. I see. I'm good. So you switched from dub to sub this episode.
Oh, yes.
The
dub is...
I'm excited to do the same thing with episode 3 because the dub's not good.
The dub's bad.
We've been spoiled for dubs lately. Dubs have been great.
Very fucking... And that, once again, like, I feel... Sakamoto Days, is that what it is? Is Sakamoto Days the anime... Like, is it like an anime that... Like, Sakamoto Days is, and I made this point a couple weeks ago where I was like, oh, anime has gotten better between voice acting, animation, choreography, and the storylines that we're telling over the last decade. Is Sakamoto Days the anime that reminds us what anime used to be?
Worse.
But still think, like, not bad.
Yeah.
But, like, because anime has gotten so much better over the last decade, is Sakamoto Days like, hey, this would have been the best anime in 2015.
Yeah.
Like, fucking 2017, the best anime that came out was Made in Abyss. And Made in Abyss is good. But, like, you put Made in Abyss against anything that's come out, the best anime of the last, we're in 2025? Last 8 years, Made in Abyss is by far and away the worst anime out of all of those. So,
wow.
Like, so is Sakamoto Days the best anime of 2016? Is that what it is?
Maybe. I'm wondering what came out in 2016 now.
You can look, but I'll tell you right now, the number one rated anime of 2017 is a Made in Abyss. Because usually when I talk about, like, how anime has gotten better, that's the point that I make. I'm like, oh, think about the year of 2017 as it related to anime. It was awful.
Best anime of 2016.
What to say?
Let me see what, like, should it be like a new anime that
usually, like, IMDb will do a list of the top rated anime from every year.
All right, top 50 best anime of 2016. Number 1, Re:Zero, Starting Life in Another World.
Okay, that's fair.
Okay, and
that's
then
fun. Season 1 was fucking heat.
Followed by Yuri on Ice, followed by My Hero.
Okay. Oh my, was that first season of My Hero's 2016?
There's like truly no way. I don't know what season they're talking about though.
I mean, that could have been like 2 or 3.
Could have been, yeah, it could have been any. I don't
Which
know
also were objectively better than season 1, so.
I don't know what, have you heard of Cabaneri of the Iron Fortress?
Yeah.
Is this the Attack on Titan ripoff?
Cabaneri of the Iron Forces is not an Attack on Titan reference or ripoff at all. 1, they're not Titans, they're zombies. 2, everyone's ripping around with guns. There's a bunch of trains. Dude, Cabaneri of the Iron Fortress is one of the most underrated anime of all time. It's on Netflix.
It's gorgeous.
It's gorgeous.
From what I've seen, but it is them defending a bunch of walls from a bunch of zombies. They don't know.
Not giant
But
monsters.
Titans are kind of zombies, are they
Titans
not?
are kind of giant zombies.
They're giant zombies.
that are sentient. Cabaneri of the Iron Fortress is sick as hell, dude. They also did a remake.
Just because something's a ripoff doesn't mean it's bad. I like Marvel Rivals.
It's not a ripoff. Danny, if fucking defending the walls from evil beings is a ripoff Attack on Titan, I got news for you. The Matt Damon movie, The Wall, is a ripoff of Attack on Titan.
It could be.
Maybe.
This looks sick. I'm looking at a trailer. This looks awesome.
A ton of fun.
Why did it not take off?
It was on Netflix before Netflix was known for anime. And then they did a remake of it a couple of years ago. It's either a remake or a sequel. I don't exactly remember. It was always just it's kind of like, Odd Taxi or like Dororo or Dora Hedoro.
Yeah.
Or a Bakano.
Dora Hedoro's coming back.
Yeah, but it's one of those shows that everyone's like, oh, this is really good. But Blood Blockade Battlefront. All these anime that are really good, but never get public appeal for some reason. It's a fucking great show. Anyways, Sakamoto Days. The dub is not great.
No.
It's fine, but we've been so blessed with recent dubs, like Solo Leveling's dub. Fucking Alex Lee is one of the most talented voice actors in fucking working right now. Even Zenshu's dub was fucking incredible. I'm trying to think of other JJK's dub.
What did we just watch in dub?
Windbreaker's dub was great.
I didn't see Windbreakers. I really like Bungo Stray Dogs dub.
Yeah.
What did we just watched a fucking dub show.
Last season?
Yeah.
Dandadan? Dandadon's dub.
Dandadon's.
Dandadon's dub was incredible.
Yeah. And then what did we watch?
And just something about Sakamoto's dub.
Beastars is a great dub.
Beastar's dub is so good. I didn't know it came out in Japanese.
Yeah.
Beastar's dub is so good. I thought it was an American-made thing, and then you're like, it's got a manga.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I had no idea that Beastars had a manga. I thought it was a Netflix American-made cartoon.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've just been so blessed with really good dubs recently. Sakamoto's dub isn't bad, but it's one of those shows where you're like, oh, I remember why we used to have
the bar's been higher.
Yeah, I remember that's things we can't even really have the dub versus sub conversation anymore because dub has gotten so good that why are you, if you're watching sub at this point, it's just because you like the way the Japanese sounds.
Yeah.
This is one of those ones where I'm like, I'd rather hear the Japanese.
Yeah, that's fair.
But one of my friends was apparently the assassin in dub fiction.
Yeah.
And that's all we're gonna say about that.
All right.
And that's the end of that.
He's
right
in
there.
it.
Anything else? I said, Christ, get me a woman who'd throw herself off a cliff if she can't be with me.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, I can't imagine a weapon worse than a circle blade.
Yeah, that's got to be. Any blade pointing towards yourself is not a good knife.
One, it's at an angle. Otherwise otherwise you're shaving the back of your forearm every time you punch it. And then it's a shield? Cool. Your arm is in the center of it.
Yeah, it's not a good weapon, for sure.
Okay, cool. Let me block it like this. I'm just aiming for your fingies.
Yeah, it's it's like any cool move. The best weapon ever invented is the spear. 100%. And nobody's ready for that conversation.
100%.
It makes truly no sense to use an axe in battle.
The best weapon ever invented is a polearm.
That's true.
I hate to be that guy.
Because it can be an axe.
Because it's a spear and an axe.
Yeah. It makes truly no sense to just use an axe in battle. You're always leaving yourself open.
Yeah. But you get a couple of points.
Yeah, but you put a point in it. Yeah. Like a scythe doesn't make sense in battle.
In the least psychotic way possible. Man, being a Roman legionnaire and just fucking lacing some dude with a spear must have been top 5 feeling on earth.
I can't believe tridents weren't more. It's 3 spears.
Too sticky.
Oh, yeah, you got to get it out.
Yeah, it's 3 prongs. That's the issue. Also, the blades are thin, so I'm sure they bent a lot.
Yeah.
But they used them in the Colosseums, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know, they might be lying to us.
Any weapon that isn't a sword or spear and even a sword isn't as good as a spear.
No, it's all about reach.
The only-
You're going to knock my spear out of the way?
Actually,
Cool,
no.
right
The,
there.
the only good thing about a sword is the fact that if you're able to parry the spear and get in close, you can't do shit with a spear in close.
Bang!
Well, yeah, you can butt him up, but butting him is just a method to get him into spearing
Spear
range.
distance, exactly.
But with a sword, you get close, you avoid the butt,
Yeah.
you just take the blade, and then now you have just a big knife up
Yeah.
in his face.
That's fair.
So,
I mean, that's only if you get in my range.
also, if you're in a suit of armor, butting you with a spear is not going to do anything.
I mean, if you're in a suit of armor, hitting me with a sword isn't going to do anything.
You get in the gaps. That's why you're close.
Okay, Timothy Chalamet in The
Get
King.
in the King.
The King. That's
Yeah.
great. That's probably his best movie. But that's also he's just running around with like an ice pick and a hammer.
That's how it's done, baby.
God, if you guys like Timothy Chalamet, watch The King. That is a great goddamn.
That's just Timothy Chalamet getting in them gaps for 2 hours.
He gets in the mud.
Yeah.
You want to see Timothy Chalamet roll around in the mud?
Just mud wrestle.
You want to see Timothy Chalamet kill fucking Robert Pattinson?
Yeah.
Watch The King.
Yeah.
Oh my God, so much fun. Robert Pattinson also one of his better movies.
Really good. He's
So
French
good
in it.
Everybody's good in that
Yeah.
movie. You want to talk about Castlevania Nocturne?
Yeah.
So you watched all of season 1.
Yeah, I've only watched up till episode 2 prior.
Okay.
I watched every episode of season 1 of Nocturne.
Give me your elevator. Give me your rundown on season 1. Because
Yeah.
you're a staunch Castlevania hater.
Not true.
You simply are.
Not true.
You say ridiculous things like Arcane's better than it. That's hating on it.
Arcane's better than it.
Not true. It's just not true.
How many Emmys and Oscars does a Castlevania have?
Actually, like, I wouldn't be surprised if I had a couple. I have no idea.
Guess what? Me neither. I haven't looked.
Yeah,
So-
okay.
Okay, well, I'd love to give you my thoughts because Nocturne is like probably the coolest vampire premise ever conceived. I can't believe the most shocking thing about Nocturne is that it's not unanimously claimed to be one better than the original series. I haven't seen the original.
Oh.
So that's me being like, I've seen season 1 and half of season 2 of the original.
How can you say you're like, oh, Nick, watch Arcane before you make an argument about Castlevania being better than Arcane. Now I've seen all of them, and you're gonna sit there on your throne of lies and be like, I've seen fucking 8 episodes of Castlevania.
You want to know the actual reason I stopped halfway through season 2 of Castlevania?
Why? Because Sypha and Trevor weren't doing enough tongue punching.
I was
you pervert.
literally too busy having sex with women. It was summer vacation from college, and I kept sitting down to watch Castlevania, and I was just like, my phone was blowing up too much. One girl specifically,
Yeah.
not like I
She
don't
was
want
like,
people to
give
think.
me that Motta third leg.
Yeah, that
meaty
mozzarella stick.
Oh, there we go.
There we go. Hey, I don't want you to think I was just sitting back like with my harem of women and they were in the way. I'm like, ladies, please.
I'm gonna see Trevor make a funny joke.
No, the reason I was like, I kept watching it on my laptop and I was like, I'm like not paying attention to this. I'm like texting too much. And then I just stopped for no reason, not because of quality, because I was too busy.
You literally
Anyway.
see Alucard kill fucking Dracula in season 1, and one of the most emotionally
That doesn't happen.
gut rip.
Doesn't happen, so stop spoiling things. Season 1? Are you kidding me? Season 1 where Alucard's not even fucking in it?
Jokes.
Guess what? I'm pretty sure Dracula makes it to season 4. Bozo.
There's simply no way.
I'm pretty sure.
I
know he's dead because I watched Nocturne, but
yeah.
but you're
They talk about it in episode. No, they don't talk about episode 1. Do they?
of what season?
Season 1, season 2. I don't remember.
You know what? I also don't know.
They talk about it.
They talk about it in episode 1 of season 2.
Yeah, when Alucard shows up, he's like, Dracula's dead.
Anyway, yeah, so me saying I can't believe people don't think Nocturne's better than the original isn't me saying Nocturne's better than the original. It's me being like,
There's no way that the original's better than this.
yeah, because the premise is so good.
So unique.
I've never seen a vampire story this fucking cool.
Yeah.
Because it takes place in France.
Yes.
A place vampire stories don't usually take place in, except the case study of Vanitas specifically.
Yeah.
It
Did you
takes
ever
place.
finish that?
Yeah.
You did?
It's only 2 seasons.
I got like 2 episodes in. I was like, I can't do this.
It's really not that worth it.
So not anything.
It's a little too slow.
Yeah.
It's beautiful, but way too slow. And there's some cool vampire shit in it. Not as cool as this.
This is the coolest vampire shit.
It takes place in France, which is a unique vampire locale. It's got...
During the French Revolution, too.
During the French Revolution, which is awesome, just a cool time period, vampires are the bourgeoisie, which is such a smart idea. I love that vampires are, like, well-known, and if they were well-known, obviously they would just be ruling society.
Of course.
Because they're just a better race.
They're eternal. They're eternal, and some of them, they can mostly walk outside in the Castlevania fucking universe. They just need umbrellas. That's it.
You just need an umbrella. The sun thing is not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
They're the bourgeoisie, which is awesome. And then you've got Mayan vampires.
Yeah.
And then you've got the vampire messiah, who is the daughter of the Egyptian god of the sun.
Sekhmet.
Yes, Sekhmet.
Yeah.
That's so sick. I love that she's the daughter of the god of the sun and she wants to summon and kill him to get rid of the sun. I love that it's Egyptian for no fucking reason. It's so global and diverse. Like, you want to talk about casual diversity? This is just such a sick world where vampires are rooted in every culture. And in the first episode of season 2, Alucard's in fucking Egypt, and you see these fucking Egyptian warriors, these what's it called, Magi, attacking him. Oh man, it's so cool.
And the animation is so good.
The animation's so much better in season 2 also, because Castlevania season 1, which I'm an expert on when I'm not hosing women, and Nocturne season 1, both felt to me like they're too detailed for their own good.
Okay.
Where it feels like a fifth of the frames are missing.
Very interestingly, I was going to go the other way, and I was going to say the fights, or you're like watching them, you're like, oh, this is sick, but it's kind of sloppily animated.
It's not like that it's sloppy. It feels stiff. Like it looks like I'm watching a colored in animatic when like Trevor is like dancing with his whip. It feels like he's kind of like stuttering around. And I'm like, it feels like a detail or like motion is sacrificed for detail in Castlevania, but not the case from what I've seen of season 2 of Nocturne. Like Alucard's cooking these Egyptian Magi. Yeah. And it's just as fluid as anything else you've
And whenever Alucard fights, it's so cool because you have to watch Alucard and his
and
weapon.
the sword. Dude, just be bats and have your sword kill people.
Yeah, I mean, just be, like impossible to hit and also have your impossibly like powerful weapon that can be controlled with your mind go through people.
The way fighting just a sword is so much harder than fighting a man with a sword.
Because it can move impossibly and you can't track how it's gonna move.
You can't track it. You can see a man telegraph his shit. If his shoulders move this way, you know the sword's coming this way.
Yeah.
Yeah, just be bats. Always be bats. So I said I can't believe the original is better than this.
Yeah.
The only way I buy that the original is better, because again, like, as far as I know, it only takes place in like Transylvania and shit, which
kind of, yeah.
The coolest part to me of this is that it's so multicultural. God, do I hate Richter and everything he says. Everything that comes out of his stupid fucking mouth.
You'll like him more in season 2. He is not near. My biggest gripe with season 1 is that he's not nearly as likable in Trevor, as in like in the original one. He's way more like, he's a way like not dumbed down, but he's a way better character in season 2.
He's dumbed down in season 2?
He's not dumbed down in season 2.
He's already too dumb.
No, like he gets like at the end of season 1 he gets his magic back, right?
Put that away.
All right, listen, I'm about to torture ass.
Is this ice and this is fire, or is it nonsense?
This is fire.
Because she does this for Ice Umbrella. And I was like, whoa,
she does do that for Ice Umbrella.
I think it's just nonsense, and I kind of don't like that.
I think everything channels through this, actually.
No, she goes like this for fire sometimes.
Oh, this is fire. This is ice. And then I don't know what lightning is. But in season 2 is just Richter using, it's so dope. Because Annette, who is like Richter's like pseudo girlfriend, has like these
out of truly nowhere.
Well, it's a fucking curveball, dude. You're like, oh yeah, Maria, like him, Richter and Maria are gonna hooked up, and then like immediately it's like, nope, Annette, and you're like, you know what, down for it.
Out of nowhere in season 1, him and Annette are like, by the way, we like each other.
They have so much chemistry in season 2. It's fucking awesome, dude. I love them together. They're one of my highest points from season 2. They're great. I love Annette's character. And when you're talking about how global the Castlevania universe is, like, Annette is dealing with a completely unique power system where she's like, oh, in season 2, like, you see, like, at the end of season 1, she's trying to use Papa Legba to push the fucking night machine into, like, some, like, weird spiritual plane.
Like into hell.
Yeah, into hell, to get rid of it forever. And in season 2, you realize that, like, Papa Legba's, like, the iceberg of her abilities, and she's being haunted by the ghosts of her ancestors in season 2. It's fucking so dope. And so she's controlling stone and steel and like metal, right? While Richter in season 2 controls fire, ice, and lightning. So they kind of control all the elements together. So, like, you'll see if there's a couple of, like, tag team fights where, like, Annette's, like, controlling people's weapons and Richter's, like, adding lightning to his whip. Like, the diversity in the way that they're tackling... Oh, I'm getting goosebumps talking about it. The diversity of the way they're tackling combat in this is so dope because, like, Richter's, like, freezing people's shoes and then turning, like, lightning whip to kill people. Oh, it's so good. It's so good.
Well, thankfully, because I do hate Richter. Because he's like, Richter's just a has-been hotel character.
Himbo. He's so himbo energy.
He's himbo, but also like this show, and I remember the original kind of having this problem too. This show does not know how to swear. It just doesn't.
What do you mean?
It is so bad at swearing.
Trevor's great at swearing.
Most of the time, everything, like, everyone's talking, like, period accurate enough.
Yeah.
And, like, the dialogue's good enough. I love, if we're doing something, like, in a time period, I love hearing people go, like, I almost said full frontal.
Yeah.
Full throttle with, like...
I mean, Alucard and... Oh, you haven't seen it.
I don't know.
Alucard has a 3-way in the original season.
A lot of people have told me there's a wild sex scene.
There's
in the
a
original.
wild sex scene.
But I prefer, like, a time period story to go full throttle with, like, time period accurate dialogue.
Yeah.
Like, Game of Thrones has such, like, I could just listen to them talk forever.
Yeah.
Because they, like, put some work into making them talk, like, with the thys and thou and shit. And this doesn't really do that, but most
none of them are French.
Well, none of them have French accents, which is annoying as hell.
Well, Richter's not French. Alucard's not French. Annette's not French.
Just nobody. There isn't a single French accent in this whole show.
I think Maria and her mother might be the only French people.
Well, the abbot.
The abbot is also French.
And they all have English accents, which is silly.
Accents. Hey, there was a lot of bleed through between those two countries back in the day.
Whatever. All that's silly. Even the bourgeoisie vampires don't have French accents.
That's also fair.
But I'm talking about, like, the dialogue, and most of the time the dialogue's fine, and it's, like, not really bothering me that they talk, like, sort of modern. Anytime Richter talks, or anytime anyone swears, it's, like, the worst written dialogue you've ever heard in your life. Because there's a bit when he gets his fists, when he gets his anti-vampire punchies.
Yeah, his ice fist.
His ice fists.
Yeah.
The whole season, Richter keeps like, people will be fighting, and then Richter will just, like, pincushion a dude with some knives, and he'll be like, I'm Richter Belmont, and I kill vampires.
Yeah.
And that's, like, his catchphrase. And I'm like, pretty simple, but that's cool.
Yeah.
And then he gets his fists, and he's all chained up, and he's like, there's something you've forgotten, and I'd forgotten it myself too. And then he gets the vampire on the ropes, and I'm waiting him to be like, I am Richter Belmont, and I fucking kill vampires. And that'd be an awesome, satisfying payoff to his catchphrase. But then he, like, corners a vampire, and he goes, I was going to say something witty and brutal and cutting, but fuck it. And then he kills him. And I'm like, why every now and then they get fucking Vivzy to come in and write a zinger, and it's always terrible because it's not Has-Been Hotel. Anytime people swear, it's like that, where they'll be like, he's like, I just met my grandfather. He was, and it's like one of the best vampire killers of all time. He's like, sort of a dick.
Yeah.
It's like, shut up, you fucking idiot.
Line. That's a fun line.
No, it's lazy.
Because Youst is kind of a dick.
He is, but it's so lazy. It's like I'm watching Euphoria. Like, why are we doing these, like, Marvel-ass quips?
Because there's comedy aspects to it.
No, but it can be... Game of Thrones is funny, but they're never like bazinga.
Says the #1 Young Sheldon fan.
That's true, but that's the thing. Okay, ever since I insulted Sonic, everyone's been on my ass and being like, well, you find Has-Been Hotel funny. You can't just put has-been hotel comedy in a fucking 18th century French vampire killing show. Different comedy fits in different places.
Gotcha.
I love Young Sheldon. If Game of Thrones starts throwing bazingas at me, I'm like, that's a shit episode of Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
It fits in different places. So being like, well, you like Has Been Hotel. It's because the comedy makes sense in
Within the
Has Been
confines of
Hotel.
Has Been Hotel.
Them being like, let's go kill some vampires right after I shit out of my asshole.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Yeah.
Anyway, those are my grievances.
Find your spots.
Those are my grievances with Nocturne because otherwise, it's a really cool show, and episode 1 of season 2's fucking awesome.
Yes, Erzsébet, that episode ending with Erzsébet like staring down, who's she staring down? Oh, the abbot.
Yeah.
Wildly intimidating. When she was just like fucking, like it was like a POV, and it was like, that was so
all
dope.
her angles are sharper, like.
And then I also, Stank texted us, and he was like, oh, like I could see Castlevania Nocturne season 2 being up for like best animation. And it won't be because it's not on Crunchyroll, right? So like it won't be like up for any like anime awards.
Also, is it actually anime? It's like created, directed, and written by Americans.
No, like I'm not saying it would be, but like I'm saying.
But I mean, like, is it like
They-
anyone working on this Japanese?
Straight up depends on your interpretation of anime. I would call it an American animation.
Yeah.
But it's like, oh, is anime just the Japanese animation?
Yeah.
Like it's like it's an animated TV show.
Yeah,
What does
yeah,
that mean? Like anime is just the fucking Japanese word for animation.
Yeah.
That's the thing. And so I could absolutely see people being this is the best animation of season 2 because
Yeah.
it's fucking or just the entire year because it's peak as hell. But speaking of fantastic animation, you want to talk about Soul Leveling?
Oh, do you not have notes on Nocturne? Did I devour the whole segment?
I mean, like my notes on episode 1 are I love Alucard so much. This opening fight scene goes so crazy. I can absolutely see why Stank said this is JJK season level 2s of animation. I love the addition of African magic. Speaker season 1. I don't know what that. I don't know what that has to do.
That's all I was gonna say too. Is thankfully, because I do hate Richter, he is not the main character. It turns out because it's super Annette.
It's so Annette. It's very Annette focused story.
Annette has so much goddamn screen time.
Yeah, well, like Richter does his arc in season. Like that's the thing is like Castlevania usually focuses one season on one character,
Yeah.
like arc wise, and so like Alucard's now in the story, so like Alucard's kind of getting it, but like Alucard's kind of like a plot device now. Like Alucard's like everybody loves Alucard. It's like give me as much.
He's like Saitama, right?
Yeah,
Like
straight line that motherfucker directly into my eyeballs, dude.
Yeah.
I love Alucard. But like yes, like Richter had his arc, like he got his magic back, and so like now it's about like this entire season is about Annette conquering her magic.
no, I mean season 1. Annette is the protagonist.
Oh, really?
He's not in it that much. She is front and center. She gets a whole episode in episode 3.
Yeah.
By the way, Annette fucking rules.
Yeah.
I love all of the history with her slave background
Yep.
and like, because that
Her
again,
and Edward breaking out together
yeah, and I love how all the slave owners
are vampires. Yep.
This is just such a cool show.
Her caging her fucking slave owner and him
Yeah.
dying to the sun. Dope as hell.
All that sick. But yeah, she is in so fucking much of the show
Yeah.
and is so much more interesting than any of the other characters.
Yeah.
It's her and then vampires. Like,
Yeah.
if you go back and watch season 1, Richter and Maria, or whatever her name is, the blonde girl,
Gotcha, yeah, Maria.
aren't really in it, like, at all.
No.
And yeah, I was gonna say one last thing. Character designs are all perfect and great.
But like so like the night creatures have always been the night creature arc in Castlevania has always been one of the more interesting arcs.
Yeah.
So in Castlevania's like first
Original.
like the actual original, the most interesting character to me was the person who made Night Creature.
Isaac or something. right?
Isaac, yeah. He was I think season 3, he really hits like his bag, and he is by far and away. He's having these like long extended dialogues with these night creatures who are like slowly but surely coming back to like the people that they were. And you see his like dedication to Dracula. Dracula like ends up saving his life. It's fucking. He's by far and away the most compelling character. And so like Castlevania, like yes, like the Belmonts are always fun, but like it's usually the cast of characters around them that make the show a masterpiece.
Yeah, right.
Man, I want to watch fucking Castlevania's original season. So bad.
I'm like also on the high. I'm so excited to finish this and then go back to the original. Sarah's watching it. She likes it.
Crazy.
Nocturne.
Crazy.
Anyway, solo leveling.
Solo leveling. Fun episode.
Yeah.
It's like a very good episode. A fucking incredible episode. But, like,
Episode 3 of season 2.
episode 3 of season 2. So this episode kind of focuses mostly on Jinwoo, like post the Red Gate.
Yeah, just doing like a 100 floor tower climb.
Just like just soloing SAO.
Yeah.
Just like being like, oh yeah, I see Aincrad. I'll fucking get to level 75 here.
Yeah.
So he got this, basically Jinwoo in season 1 gets this loot box, random loot box from a dungeon he does. And from that random loot box, he gets a key that opens what he believes is an S-ranked gate, but it's not actually. It's an S-ranked item that gives him access to this 100-tower like gate that essentially he has to exercise 10,000 demons from. So he's telling his sister, he's like, hey, I'm going to be gone for a week here. And he then goes and is gone for a week. What'd you think of the episode?
Yeah, fun. I think the show is just fun.
Yeah.
In a way that Shangri-La Frontier was before it got really boring.
Mm-hmm.
Because this show like keeps up its momentum. It's fun in the way that like watching someone play a video game is fun.
Yeah.
Where it's like you see him level up and I get a dopamine rush. Like I'm like, oh, he just got +1 agility.
Yeah.
And it means nothing. Like until it's like level up, here's a new skill. It literally means nothing.
Mm-hmm.
But it is weirdly satisfying to see him kill a cave of bears or a floor of a dungeon, and he gets some XP out of it.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's like it's the system.
Yeah.
And so there's two kind of boss fights in this episode where like one he's battling against like the giant like hog boss.
It's literally the tutorial boss from Dark Souls 1.
The hog boss?
Yeah. It's literally the fucking asylum demon.
I do not remember Dark Souls 1 at all. I think I blacked it out of my memory intentionally.
Um,
You're talking about Dark Souls or Demon Souls? Oh my god. Yeah, no, like to a T.
It like has the club.
That's crazy.
Yeah, he fights that, and that's cool. I like that it's really fast. That's fun.
Yeah, just whipping around. He's like, I do like now that like what's cool about season 2 is that we're getting a diversity in how Jinwoo fights, right? Because obviously, like we're getting the Shadow Army, and so he's like working with Iron, he's working with Tank, he's working with Igris, and like all of his other like bear and soldier people. And
we didn't talk about this before.
What?
But him murdering a real life man,
Yep.
and then summoning him, and then going, "Your name is Iron now."
Yep.
Outrageous.
I mean, the guy was trying to murder him.
I know, but to be like, I name you something different now.
Yeah. So the way that works, and I'm posting a video about this soon, is that the way that like the Shadow Army thing works is that he can only name shadows. My schmeckle.
My schmeckle. My boxing.
You're right. My boxing. He can only name shadows above a certain level. So like he can't name like his foot soldiers, but anybody above like elite knight level, like there's like certain levels. Yeah. Anybody above elite knight level, he can give a name to. So that's Tank, Iron, and Igris are like all in that categorization. But yeah, he's like, you're Iron immediately. Yeah. Like he named him. He had Tank before he had Iron, but he named Iron before he named Tank, which is ridiculous.
Yeah, that is silly. Yeah, it was.
It's a fun episode.
It was fun. The ending's great.
What?
The ending's great. For someone who hasn't read the Donghua.
Yes, okay. So they also introduced Jinwoo's father in this episode. Yeah.
Big reveal.
Big reveal.
He looks sick.
He does look sick. So
he looks like a Baki character.
Objectively, he kind of, like, him and Jinwoo have a very Baki-esque relationship.
Okay.
So he's been gone for 10 years. He's been hidden in the gate. And what's cool about soul leveling, but also kind of interesting, so he has been stuck in a gate for 10 years. And so, like, yeah, him and Jinwoo are, like, very Baki-y. What was I going to say? Oh, but the end of the episode is, like, Hwang Dong-suk ends up, he's an S rank who wants to kill Jinwoo, ends up realizing that this is Jinwoo's father. And he's like, oh, time to lay this dude out. But you just see him get absolutely, the episode ends with this Dong Hwang. I'm so bad at Korean names.
Just say his dad.
What?
Just say his dad.
No, but it's Hwang, who's laid up.
The dude with the like
the
shades,
glasses and the red
it's
polo.
like Yakuza boss.
Yeah, exactly. So he gets absolutely laid out by Jinwoo's father.
Yeah.
And you literally see an entire city has been leveled by their fight, but the people who are cleaning up after it are like, thank God the fight ended quickly.
I know. Well, that's what's sick. So yeah, his father reveal was crazy.
Yeah.
Because the dad's also like, he's like, I'm here to prevent a catastrophe. Like there's a catastrophe coming and he's going to kill all of your allies and turn them against you.
Yeah.
And that's when you're like, oh, he's talking about Jinwoo, right? That's his name?
Jinwoo is the main character's name. Yes.
Yeah, he's like, oh, he's talking about Jinwoo. Like, he's here to prevent that. And then you find out that he's Jinwoo's father. Mm-hmm. And you're like, whoa, what's this all about? How does he know about it? Why does he know about the system? And what is the system? And like, I love keeps solo leveling fresh is the same thing that keeps Blue Lock fresh, which is that it is a reverse redemption arc. And it's like the gripping part is watching Jinwoo lose his humanity and become a worse and worse guy. Like after he kills Iron, he's like in his bathroom and he looks himself in the mirror and he's like, that's the third one now.
Yeah, it's the third time I've killed humans.
Yeah. And like, that's crazy. And it's like, that's so interesting.
Do you think Jinwoo's becoming a worse and worse person?
I hope.
Okay.
I think.
Yeah.
I hope it is my big thing because that's so fun. In the same way that like Isagi is interesting because Blue Lock's designed to make you more selfish.
Yeah.
And I like that Jinwoo's like losing his humanity a little and things are becoming so easy that he's like not valuing lives that much.
Yeah. It's like when he like comes across the captain of the undead army. He's like, oh, this fight's a bit one-sided, right?
Yeah.
And he just cuts his head off.
Yeah. Like that's all really good. And then what's sick is that, it just shows the aftermath of them fighting. And they're like, man, I've heard that 2 S ranks fighting could like level cities.
Could like change a landscape.
Yeah, it could change a landscape. Good thing this one ended quick. That's IO's.
And you just see Huang just laid out, covered in bruises, red polo ripped off him.
I just love a show that's like the Owl House, where we talked about it, where it's like you establish a power system and like the general base like power level. And then you're like, oh, by the way, here's like 15 seconds of an absolute master. And you find out that he's like 100 tiers above what we thought was like pretty good magic.
Like lose Amity. You're like, oh wow, Amity's getting real good at abomination magic, and like she like, can't even touch her father.
Yeah, it's like you don't even know like half the applications of this magic system.
And it's like that's what was kind of cool about like Luz going back in time to see like Emperor Bellos and see like how he was using all these crazy glyph combinations and shit.
Yeah,
that was dope as hell.
Well, that's what's sick about Demon Slayer Mugen Train also is like, up until that point, you're like, oh man, Tanjiro's pretty good.
You're like, Tanjiro fought that guy with no eyes who could fucking point arrows.
Yeah, and then it's like Rengoku and Akaza, and you're like, oh, Tanjiro can't even see them.
Tanjiro's a child.
Yeah.
He has no idea what's going on. Like, his only option here is to run or throw his goddamn sword.
Yeah.
That's it. So yeah, no. Soul leveling is gonna get a lot more fun. I mean, that's the thing is like we're still like kind of in like the exposition arc here where we're like trying to get Jinwoo as powerful as possible so we can introduce the height of consequences.
Yeah.
But they started talking about something that is gonna be a big part of the second half of the season, which is the Jeju Island and the flying ants and all of that.
Are they actual ants?
They are actual ants.
So fun.
But they're giant actual ants. And
is that not stupid?
it's stupid. It's
okay.
It's like they're like viewed as like the literal height of calamity, and they're just huge fucking ants.
Yeah.
But it's like the entire idea is like, oh, ants are the strongest thing on earth, like body weight size. No, imagine if they were giant, right? They'd be impossible to kill.
Yeah.
So that's kind of fun. But this episode has done the funniest part about this episode was I wrote this for like right here. I said he can't speak English, so we're waiting for an interpreter. They say in Japanese. It was like it's because I forget his name. Il Hwan Sung or something like that is Jinwoo's father.
Yeah.
Gets like pops out in a gate in America. And the reason that like Hwang Dong-suk is the one interacting with him is because he's Korean. And Hwang Dong-suk is a Korean hunter in America. So the dudes who are like, oh, we don't speak Japanese is because, or like, they're like, oh, he doesn't speak Japanese. They're saying that technically in English because they're in America, because he's a Korean hunter and they don't have anybody who speaks Korean. Because in the manhwa, it's everyone speaking Korean, right? So it's a fucking Korean story. And so it's American dudes saying he doesn't speak Japanese in Japanese when he's Korean and the other guy's Korean, both speaking Japanese.
Didn't we run into something like this when in the first season they were like this hunter just earned like 400 billion jubus or whatever,
And it's like, oh, that's because the won isn't worth dick.
Yeah.
And I was like, they weren't changing any of the numbers, so they're 10xing everything Jinwoo's earning.
Yeah, and we're like, wow, that dude's fucking rolling in it.
Yeah, so like 1 USD is like 1,400 like South Korean won when it's like, and 1 USD is like 150 yen. So everything is just 10xed in the story now.
It's crazy that I get why you can't, because the money's already out there in the world.
Okay.
If money were exclusively digital.
Okay.
Do you think he could fix that kind of like insane inflation where it's like, because it's ridiculous.
Buddy, wait until I tell you about Vietnam.
Yeah.
Do you know how much? You know how much $1 gets you in Vietnam?
How much?
The conversion rate is absolutely
Well, it's
insane.
like, because it's
Wait
ridiculous.
until about Venezuela.
Well, it's ridiculous to be like, oh, I'm going to go get a cheeseburger. How much will that be? Oh, 4 million yen or whatever, you know?
$1 is 25,000 Vietnamese dong.
Yeah, it's $1 million dong for a cheeseburger,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
Wouldn't it just be more convenient to be like, hey, let's just knock all those zeros off and be like, now it's $4.
But
you know what I mean?
would,
But the money's already out there, so you can't. But if it was all digital, you could just adjust everyone's bank account. It's like, I know it looks like your bank account is low, but that's because everything just got cheaper, but it's actually the same price.
Yeah, but that would only work in the country that you're in. Because your money, okay, so now, like, let's say you have 25 million dong, but because we're trying to make everything in the country cheaper, you now have 25 dong. Now that 25 dong against my USD is fucking smithereens. Right? So you can say, oh,
Well, but then why wouldn't it adjust to every other country where it's like, oh, now it's actually worth this? Would that break the global economy?
well, like, yeah, that would be like, okay, so cool. But now, like, what if I have, like, yeah, you have, so if everything's already digital, yes. And in the hypothetical circumstance where people are sitting on billions of dong, and now billions of dong is worth way more than it used to, and everything is digital, you could hypothetically do that. But you'd have to put everything against a globally backed dollar.
Gotcha.
And so when countries do trade with each other, this is economics with Nick for Dan. When countries do trade with each other, they do it in USD. So if China makes a deal with Japan, they do it in USD. Wow. The entire I don't know if China may not be the right, but like if like a
right, communist China, yeah.
If a country that trades with America somewhat constantly does a trade with another country, it's done in USD, which is why the American dollar is so incredibly powerful. However, that means that the American dollar will never lose its value, because if it loses its value, international trade kind of gets mucked up. So the USD is always going to be incredibly powerful. However, that makes things in America very expensive because our dollar is so powerful. So shit can't get made here. That's why you don't that's why manufacturing jobs go to China or other places where their dollar, quotations, dollar is less than.
Got you.
Yeah.
Interesting. No, I mean, I really do value these breaks in the podcast where we're able to have like a genuinely enriching and like intellectually enlightening conversation. I do want to move to this impending ant problem because I think like the economy, I do have some solutions.
Okay, cool.
To make it all sticky.
I can't believe they didn't think of that.
Just make it all sticky.
Hey, you make it all sticky. Bomb the island.
Yeah.
They're all on an island. The problem is that they learned to fly because they've been there for years.
Gotta land sometime.
Get rid of the island.
List to me.
How much stick? Like,
Okay. Ready? Here we go.
Yep.
List to me some things like the ants may interact with, land on, etc.
We're talking sugar cubes.
Make it sticky.
We're talking TJ Maxx's. Got a lot of legs, some pants, maybe.
Yeah, make that sticky.
Maybe like a fat burger.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I want that sticky.
Okay, yeah. So
Yeah.
stick them everything.
To make it all sticky.
Make it all sticky.
Get a glue monkey to come in. I'm talking about
Glue Storm.
balloons.
You're talking Glue Storm. You're
Glue
talking,
Storm, yeah.
Yep. Start hitting Glue Storm.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Make it all sticky. Like ants?
Yeah.
That's the impending
That is
danger I'm afraid
the
of.
impending fucking enemy that has already wiped out an entire S-class party raid.
Honestly, most other animals I'd be more hyped for. If they're like, hey, this island's full of gorillas, we're kind of fucked.
But imagine if it was like really big ants. Imagine, all right, put yourself in the shoes of Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Yes.
There you go. You're Whittle now.
Go on.
You're a baby.
Go on.
Yeah, okay. Now imagine ant. Now imagine thousands of ants. Now imagine there's a colony of ants. Now imagine they're coming out of the top of that goddamn mountain. Is that a mountain? No. You're making a molehill out of them. Nope. You're making it's an anthill.
Right. A lot of ants.
A lot of ants. Imagine if ants were bigger than you.
Yeah,
Terrifying.
That's tough. But like, make it spiders. Make it a better animal for entertainment
Spiders
purposes.
is scarier. Spiders is objectively scarier.
I guess is the reason because ants.
They're
Do they
powerful.
think that ants are a more interesting character because they work in colonies? They have like systems, like they literally strategize, and they're like group creatures with
Yes.
spiders. Like, it doesn't really make sense to have an island of spiders.
Yeah, because the spiders don't work together. They're independent creatures, solitary creatures.
And then also you can have a boss, the queen.
Yep. You're already.
I guess
you're
that's
unpacking
why.
this whole arc immediately.
I guess that's why.
I don't like how quickly you've unpacked this entire arc. Like Soul 11, Soul 11 is supposed to be an unpredictable story.
Yeah,
How
I
dare you?
guess so.
How dare you? How dare you unpack this world's most predictable story?
Yeah.
But yeah, fun episode. I also wrote in this mission to kill 10,000 demons, the least important thing is the fact that you promised your sister you'd be home in a week. Because he's like, oh, gotta leave this dungeon filled with fucking extra dimensional hell demons because I told my sister I'd be back in 7 days, and if I'm not back in 7 days, she'll think I have a girlfriend. Hey man, let's get those priorities straight immediately.
Yeah, how about saving your mom of her illness?
I mean, that is also my last note was I forgot he was doing this for his mom. They don't talk
me
about her
too.
much.
I thought she was dead.
They simply do not talk about her enough for the fact that like it's Jinwoo's sole motivation.
How is he not rich enough yet?
You'd think, right?
Yeah.
He literally just got his 30 billion won building by completing 19 raids. So now Jinho can take his like Jinwoo has a building.
Yeah.
He has an entire building he can sell for like millions and millions of dollars.
Which is 40 USD.
Which is like 17 cents. And like you can absolutely cure your mother. But like I'm sure the elixir of life is probably a better idea.
Yeah, I suppose. I'm excited for an S on S fight. Do you think this will rival JJK?
Do I think what?
Do you think an S tier on S tier fight
will rival something like Sukuna versus Jogo?
Also, we get comments saying we compare too many things to Jujutsu Kaisen.
It's literally the gold standard.
I was going to ask, do you still believe that?
What? That it's the gold standard?
Yeah.
100%.
In terms of animation?
100%.
Yeah.
In terms of direction, sound design, character design, animation, and just overarching storytelling, JJK Season 2 is the gold. It's the gold standard of the last 10 years of anime.
I mean, I'd agree with that in terms of like animation quality. I don't know if like storytelling and all that is like it's just because honestly, when a fight or an episode would show up that didn't have a fight in that season, I was like, what are we doing here, fellas?
For sure.
Even though I'm like, on my 12th genre defining fight, and then episode 13 is like a normal nothing episode,
The
and I'm like,
Dick Monster episode, and you're like, oh, this isn't good. This is bad.
This is bad quality.
There's bad parts of JJK Season 2, but like genuinely from a directorial standpoint, an animation standpoint, a choreography standpoint.
Animation wise, it is like
the gold standard.
The one to beat. Agreed.
I would say from a storytelling standpoint, like Freyrin is probably the gold standard in the last 10 years for anime, at least for me.
For a storytelling standpoint, like honestly, the first 4 episodes of JJK Season 2 were phenomenal.
Yeah, the entire hidden inventory arc. Yeah.
And then it went back to Yuji and his dumbass.
You hate Yuji. I believe it or not, you are not alone in the JJK fandom in that take.
Nice.
He is by far and away not that fandom's favorite character. It's Gojo through and through, and then Nanami, and then Sukuna, and then maybe Yuji.
Yeah.
I think they did a final popularity poll at the end of the manga, and Yuji was like top 5 maybe, but not 1 by any means. The end of the manga is good for him though. You'll like him by the end. But yeah, we compare shit to JJK because JJK is incredibly good. I don't know what else. Like I would say in terms of choreography, maybe Windbreaker is like close to JJK Season 2. Choreography.
You like Windbreaker too much.
I like Windbreaker a lot. But like
Even
maybe
in-
Wistoria. Like Wistoria's also up there.
In Castlevania Nocturne, fucking Richter's throwing some hands, and I was like, oh, we're getting close to JJK here.
Nocturne is
In terms of choreo.
is as close as you'll get.
Yeah.
It makes my PP wiggle.
Let me ask you a question now, then.
Ask me a question.
I'm going to ask you a
I'm
question.
gonna give you an answer.
I'm trying to think of if this question or the inverse is like the more fun one. So if you decide that the inverse is a better one to answer, feel free to do that.
Okay.
What anime do you think people would vote that the protagonist is their favorite character in terms of shonen, ensemble shonen?
One Piece.
I think you're wrong. I think you're dead wrong.
Okay, who would it be then?
In One Piece?
I'll tell you right now, One Piece out the gate for me is a bad choice because Brook is my favorite character.
You just fucking picked it.
Yeah.
I tell you right now, we go to an anime convention and I'm like, do you like One Piece? Yes. Who's your favorite character?
40%.
40%.
What'd you do? Okay, so best MC, favorite MC in their universe.
If we poll 100 anime fans, which anime do you think those people would say the MC is their favorite character.
Is their best character.
In terms of shonen ensemble anime.
I want to say, all right, so 50% and up, let's say, like you get a majority
Yeah.
of people like the MC as their favorite character. It's not Gon in Hunter x Hunter, unfortunately, because Killua is, Killua is definitely more than 50% of the fan base's favorite character.
Yeah, that's
Kurapika. One Piece is,
How high do you think Kurapika is?
in terms of like percentage of Hunter x Hunter fans who like Kurapika's their favorite character,
Just-
30-40%.
Wow. Just looking at him in just the 7 episodes I've seen, I can't imagine him becoming interesting.
They're also the main character post chapter 340.
Gotcha.
So like the entirety of the arc that's going on right now, Gon's not even in the story anymore. It's just Kurapika.
Wow.
Like not even Killua was in the story. It's like Kurapika and like Leorio kind of. One Piece, there's too many lovable characters. You're gonna get a lot of Zoros. You're gonna get a lot of fucking Brooks, Choppers, Robins. Honestly, the best answer might be Asta.
I was thinking Asta.
Black Clover.
Yeah, I don't know.
You go maybe Mara Leona. You get some. I'm trying to think of other people. Yami would definitely take a fair amount of them. Like Asta's a really despicable. Like everyone hates how much he yells. Like in the anime in the beginning, but you get used to it. You learn to love it eventually. Asta's up there. I'm trying to think.
You think Attack on Titan?
What about Goku? No,
I was
Vegeta.
thinking Goku, yeah, but then you got Vegeta. A lot of people like Piccolo, yeah.
Piccolo's my favorite.
I think Dragon Ball wouldn't shock me. One Piece would shock me. Do you think Attack on Titan?
No.
No, not Aaron. Yeah, Levi.
Mikasa. Even like people would go for like Flock. I bet you like Flock, Hanji,
Really?
Erwin.
Hanji,
But
yeah.
Levi's taken way too many of those
Yeah,
votes
yeah.
from Aaron for sure.
I'm wondering Naruto. I think Rock Lee devours
It's
a lot
Sasuke,
of
if
it.
anything. Naruto is, I think, probably your best out of the big.
close.
No, you know what it is?
It's not Bleach. Don't say
It's
Bleach.
fucking Bleach.
How's it Bleach?
It's for sure Bleach.
Really?
It's the only person who's stealing votes from Ichigo in Bleach is either Oryu, which would be crazy. If Oryu is your favorite character in Bleach, I don't get your fucking head checked. It's either Oryu, like maybe Urahara, like Kenpachi Zaraki. Really is the only person stealing votes from. Like if you say if you say Chad, Oryu, Renji, you're a pick me. Like that's pick me energy. Ichigo is. If I had to tell you my favorite character from Bleach, I don't know who I would say, honestly. I think it would probably be Ichigo.
Interesting.
But I honestly don't know who I would tell you. Like it's such an ensemble of characters that and Ichigo is hardly he is the most important, but he's hardly ever talked about as the most important. Man,
It's interesting.
I think it's Ichigo. I think if you had to say highest percentage of MCs that are the fan base's favorite character in their own anime, I think it'd have to be Ichigo.
Yeah.
Because in Naruto, Sasuke exists, and Rock Lee exists, and Neji exists, and these are all characters that are absolutely taking slices away from Naruto. I just don't think Ichigo has the same competition in his universe.
I feel like there's a mentality when asked that question, who's your favorite character in blank, to not say the MC. But I wonder if that's just my hipster
No,
ass.
it's for sure people who are like, I like to be special. It's against the grain. They're like,
Right, yeah.
I don't, but genuinely, I was like, oh, cool. So you want a story about fucking Chad? People are like, no, I'd want more Ichigo content.
I think it's the idea that people like...
Itachi. Motherfucking Itachi's. And
Itachi's
it's
taking it.
so much away from Naruto.
What about My Hero?
Deku? You think Deku holds weight in MHA? Shoto? Bakugo?
I can't tell. There's so many memes about hating Deku, but
No, Deku might be the worst answer, honestly.
Really?
I think Deku might actually have the lowest splits out of anybody in all the big ensemble in Shonen MC.
Pre-getting 11 powers, he was my favorite.
I'm telling you right now, I'd say Shoto holds 40, Bakugo holds 25.
Yeah.
Deku might be 15 to 20% of MHA's favorite character.
I think My Hero is also a breeding ground for the type of pick-me answers. People would love to be like, oh, Tokoyami's my favorite.
Yeah.
I love Clam Hands.
I love fucking Sun Eater.
Yeah,
Sun Eater is also, dude, so many people love Sun Eater.
Yeah, I know. That's why
you are absolutely right. It is 100% a breeding ground for that level of mentality.
Last one I'll ask, Chainsaw Man, because I really think Denji is probably...
Aki.
I know,
Okay, this one, Chainsaw Man is unfortunately different from manga readers and anime.
I was gonna say it's too new.
Yep.
So like, give it 1 to 2 more seasons, and then we can ask. The only reason JJK works with
Denji is up there. I'd say Denji he's running for first.
I think so too. The only reason JJK is even like in the running of this like discussion is because season 2 has like 25 episodes. Chainsaw Man, I'm pretty sure only has like 10 right now.
I'd say you could definitely split it into tiers. I'd say MHA and JJK exist at the bottom. Yuji and Deku exist in a somewhat similar, like I'd say 20% of their fan base would say that's my favorite character. Like a Chainsaw Man and Black Clover and Naruto exist. Actually, no, I'd say Chainsaw Man exists above all those. Denji's getting 70% of the vote pretty easily.
Yeah.
Because Chainsaw Man is a very good story. It's a very nuanced story, but at the same time, the simplicity of Denji's story and like how like relatable of a character he is makes people love him.
Yeah.
And I'd say Chainsaw Man is the exact opposite of like MHA, where it's the opposite of the breeding ground for people trying to make pick-me choices. Like a lot of people love Aki, and I like if you love Aki, that's not even a pick-me choice. He's just a great character. But like not loving Denji is impossible. Denji's so goddamn lovable.
Yeah, he's great.
That's a good question. I like
It's fun, right?
I like that one a lot. Cool. Can we get to our best boy here?
Here's your best boy.
My best boy is my podcast co-host because it was his birthday a couple of days ago, everyone.
Oh, yeah.
So if you're in the car driving right now, scream, happy birthday to the whole song to Danny right now. Sing it to him. I'll wait. I'm waiting. That was really fast. Good job, guys. So Danny turned 26.
I wish for peace.
Yep. Too bad. Need more candles, motherfucker.
Fuck. Yeah. Joke's on you. I said peas.
Oh.
They're coming out of my mouth.
Why did I wish for this? This is the only one that's ever come true.
My birthday curse.
Yeah.
Everyone gets one at 26.
Yeah. So Danny's 26.
Yeah.
Good job. How do you feel?
I know. I'm in my mid-30s now.
Yeah, you are. Congratulations. Fucking welcome to Social Security, baby.
I might as well be. My tax guy was like, oh, have you thought of a 401k? And I was like, have you thought of just holding on to all of my money?
Have you thought about a big old Smaug-like nest egg?
Yeah.
How about we turn it into gold coins and I sit on it?
How about a big sack with a $sign written on it?
That's good, but easily stealable.
Well, that's true. But, so Nick, here's what happened. So you and Sarah have both admitted to almost fumbling this birthday surprise you had planned multiple times, which I feel like is a testament to how much you guys almost care.
Yes.
Sarah told me, she was like, I almost blew this surprise 11 times. I got to tell you, I kept forgetting that it was supposed to be a surprise. And I was like, wow, real thoughtful. But no, so Nick tells me.
It was my idea.
I know it was.
Okay, good.
Well, that's also why she almost fumbled. But so Nick tells me, he's like, we should do a birthday thing together. And I was like, all right. And I was like, we'll take you out to a steak place. And I was like, okay, cool. I'll meet you there. And he was like, drive to my house and then we'll carpool. I was like,
because I picked a steakhouse that's very close to my house.
Yeah. And I was like, that's annoying, but okay.
Yeah.
And then so I texted Nick the day before, because all through the week I kept telling Sarah oh, we're going to the steak place with Nick and Dorothy. It'll be so fun.
Yeah.
And then it occurred to me at 4 a.m. in a cold sweat that you never mentioned Sarah.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, I don't want to invite people to things they're not invited
Mind
to.
you, also, Sarah's a vegan.
And Sarah's a vegan.
And our fake plan was to go to a steakhouse.
Yeah, and so I texted Nick and I was like, hey, can Sarah come? Because I know it's a steak place. And then Nick was like, what are we, gay? Yeah, bring...
We're going to go eat. We're going to eat each other's meat.
I like the idea. I told Sarah I want to hang out with you more, just in a one-on-one fun setting. Yeah. But I do think it is a funny idea to be like, no, just me and you. We need some bro time at Outback Steakhouse.
Yeah, dude, you, me, and a fucking blooming onion.
Yeah, but so I was like, all right, and I bring Sarah, and we show up, and there's just a train of cars, where I usually park. And I'm like, man, something must be going on. This is crazy. And I park, and I was like, can't wait to tell Nick about all
hubbub.
These
cars outside his house, yeah.
All the hubbub here. And I go in, and your kitchen door is closed. And so I am suspicious. And I'm like, what's going on here? And I go up, and you give me a hug, and then Dorothy gives me a hug. And then at the other end of your living room
Yeah.
is like a wall-sized mirror.
Yeah, I have a bar and there's a mirror above the bar.
Yeah, and Dorothy gives me a very silent hug. And so I hug her and I look up and there's just a wall of people behind me.
Yeah.
And I like wanted to be like, I want to like pull Dorothy in tighter. And I was like, Dorothy, I don't need to alarm you.
There's people in your house. There's a lot of them.
Yeah, I was like, we're just going to walk out the door and go to this steakhouse.
Oh, steak. Wow. So excited.
Yeah. I just turn around and start stabbing whoever's closest. And then I turn around.
Pocket knife.
And I turn around and it's all my closest friends and Isaac.
Yeah. Yeah, and Isaac. I DM'd the fucking murder mystery group text. I removed Danny from it. Didn't know it gave you a notification when you got removed from it.
Yeah, it told me. It was like Nick specifically removed you from this group chat. And I was like, oh, he must have just disbanded the group chat or something, but whatever.
And so I DM'd all of them and I was like, hey guys, we're throwing a surprise birthday party for Dan, and only Isaac came. Which will tell you everything about you need to know about Isaac. Incredible guy.
Yeah.
What?
Okay, sorry. I was like, oh, am I hitting this? Did I do the thing where I fucked up the audio?
No, you're good.
Isaac, great guy.
Great guy.
His girlfriend came. That was sweet of her. She knows me even less, and I've met Isaac twice.
Yeah.
So
I've met her a long time ago at TwitchCon. That was my second time like seeing her, but super sweet girl.
Yeah.
But Isaac's the fucking best.
Yeah.
I love him. I was literally with him last night. He's so funny. He's so like just like the biggest nerd.
Yeah,
he's so fucking like non-neurotypical, and he's just like, I want to talk to you about Pokemon so badly right now. And I was like, hey buddy, let's do it. You know?
He's great. He's super cool. It was a really fun time. We ate dinosaur chicken nuggets and like other snackies.
We made all the things that Danny likes, which is French fries and chicken nuggets.
Yeah, and then I got iced, which was a horrible experience.
We did it together.
Well, I was never cool enough in high school to get iced. And if you don't remember, because you're under the age of 38, people used to, what's the drink? What is it?
It's a Smirnoff Ice.
The Smirnoff Ice. That's what I thought. But so like high school locker rooms and like frat houses used to do this thing where you would hide a bottle of Smirnoff Ice, which is like a very sweet, sugary drink. Somewhere, and then when someone finds it, you scream at them, and they have to take a knee and chug this entire carbonated, like, 2-liter bottle.
They don't sell them in individuals, unfortunately, outside of, like, the fucking 40 ounce.
It's an unbelievable amount of liquid.
Yeah,
it's really cold. It's really fizzy.
Yep.
I was like, dude, I'm not good at chugging. And so eventually Nick comes down. He helps me. Chugs it instantly. But then when he looks at me, his eyes are bloodshot and there's tears in them.
You gotta put the bubbles somewhere, baby.
It really hurts.
Out the back of your corneas.
Yeah. So that wasn't fun,
but we also did fighting games, and
which was cool.
We did fighting games and board games for Danny's birthday because those are all the things that he loves.
Yeah, we played Too Much Mana.
We played Too Much Mana, which is the greatest drinking game of all time.
Yeah,
We're fucking Wizard Money Shadow Money Wizard Gang, and it was a great time. So everyone say happy birthday to Danny in the comments.
Woo!
And who's your best boy?
Probably Nocturne.
Yeah.
That's what I've been doing this week. The birthday stuff happened.
Yeah, not for your best buddy throwing you a birthday party.
And my best buddy. No, that was unbelievably sweet, and I did have a great time. Nick texted me after. He's like, I didn't think you'd stay that long.
He was there till like 1:30. I was like, and the only reason you were there till 1:30 is because Sarah was yapping with the girls.
You kept playing things.
You kept fucking. You were like, hey Sarah, you ready to go? And she was like, no. And you were like, I guess I'm here.
Well, Sarah was like, I was like, hey, let me know when you're ready. And she's like, let me know when you're ready. And I'm like, well, I'll stay however long. Like, I don't know if you're having fun. She's like, well, let me know when you're ready to go. And I'm like, I'll leave.
She was yapping, dude. They were chatting about something.
About fucking something.
Dude, probably vegan farts or something.
Yeah, probably. We played pool. You got a pool table.
I do.
You do not play like a man who owns a pool table.
I don't play that much.
Yeah. That's a fun one. If I had a pool table, I'd be playing it literally every day.
I have so much going on.
And watching One Piece, I'd be playing pool, you know?
I'm working out.
Well, I guess so.
I'm thinking about putting a projector in the front room, though.
You should stop working out.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
I think about it very frequently.
Yeah, I have
I have to go on a 4-mile run today. Not looking forward to it.
I don't think you do.
I do, though.
Why?
I do, because I have to beat you in a fight.
No.
I have to hurt you.
Richard and the trainer are very confident I can win, by the way. How's that feel? How's that make you feel?
That's good for them. Very good. You have 7 months?
I do.
Cool. I'm not going to train in boxing, so let's level the playing field.
I'm so excited.
Yeah, I'm excited for you, Danny.
Can I ask some advice that you shouldn't give me strategically?
Yeah.
what's the optimal way to get better at cardio? Because tonight I'm going to go to the gym and I'm going to run another mile.
You're doing it.
Just do that. Just keep doing it.
Just do it. Increase the distance. Keep the pace.
Yeah, there's no like macro shit I should be doing.
Just run.
Should I just run or do I walk for like 2 minutes and then run and then walk it down?
You should just run.
I got you.
You should just run as much as you can.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if I can run the whole mile yet.
Okay, well, run until you can.
I guess so.
That's how it works. You use your lungs, they get stronger.
Yeah.
All right, my flashback is that Soul Leveling Seasons 2 dub is coming out January 18th, which is actually 2 days ago. So the dub's out. The dub's out for Soul Leveling Season 2. So it's like 2 weeks behind.
Do it faster.
3 weeks behind.
I'd be watching this in dub like it's nothing.
Yeah, I don't get why fucking Zenshu's coming out simultaneously dub sub, but Soul Leveling isn't. That seems weird to me.
Just wait. Didn't they also release this early?
Full season early.
You fuckers.
Yeah, I don't know why. If we're already like pushing it out early, why are we not getting this to the dub cast?
Yeah.
Makes no sense.
So that's infuriating. And then my flashback is that 2 bits of Arcane related flashbacks actually.
Is it the trailer that everyone was like, oh, and then it was just like League of Legends?
No.
Okay.
So, 1, they're coming out with an Mbessa novel. Boop. They're coming out with an Mbessa book.
Okay.
That I will be reading.
Yep.
Hopefully
Hopefully it's a graphic novel.
Brother.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love fucking books based on shit I like.
Yeah.
Weirdly enough,
Mein Kampf, this.
I'm in a corner.
How do I get out? Anne Frank's Diary.
I just get up and walk out.
Yep.
So yeah, like the Avatar novels, the Kyoshi books, I love stuff like that. Anyway, also the animation studio behind Arcane are releasing a feature film soon. A totally original IP. It's called Penelope of Sparta. They released
So
like
it's
an
not. It
image.
has nothing to do with League of Legends at all.
Nope.
Gotcha.
It's just their first ever movie, the
That's
studio.
sick.
They were like, with the success of Arcane, we have money now.
Yeah.
Because they used to just make music videos. It's a French animation studio that's made a couple of music
that explains
videos.
the entirety of season 2, actually.
Yeah.
Boy, oh boy, are things starting to click.
Yeah. They made, for years, they made League of Legends music videos
Okay.
also for like character release trailers. And then now, they're doing
That's crazy that Netflix was like, we're going to give you $1 billion. Hey, music video company, we're going to give you $1 billion. Don't fuck this up.
Yeah, I bet the video game company also like put in most of the
100%,
money.
100%.
But it's called Penelope of Sparta. Look it up because there's an image.
Okay.
So you could get an idea of kind of what it looks like.
Can I tell you right now, this is not at all what I thought your news was going to be.
Yeah?
I thought your news was going to be, ooh, this looks kind of dope.
It's tough. So it's a telling
The
of
art style kind of looks like,
Spider-Verse.
what is that it? I was going to say it looks like Van Gogh-y, like it's like painted almost.
Yeah. True.
Why is she wearing like
modern
a
day shit.
yeah? Why is she wearing like a varsity jacket if she's Spartan?
So it's a telling, like a retelling of the Odyssey, kind of, but not really. It's like
A lot of that going around recently. Apparently.
yeah. It's Penelope from the Odyssey.
Okay.
I don't know what her deal is yet.
Neither do I.
But and it looks to me, I wonder if it's like if Sparta never fell, because she is wearing like modern
so, like,
day
she's
shit.
Like, she's like a modern day Spartan.
Yeah, but like in high school.
So it's like
it looks
fucking.
like
What's that Greek? What's the book that everyone likes? That series of books. Percy Jackson.
Percy Jackson?
Like Percy Jackson, but Sparta specifically.
yeah, I guess so. It's like seemingly from what this looks like.
Weird. Interesting. Definitely not a premise that excites me in any way whatsoever.
Yeah.
But cool. Like I like that that's happening.
Yeah, I like them. The same like writers, like a lot of the creative team of Arcane is working on this, so that's good.
That's dope.
But anyway, that's my.
I
news.
thought your news was going to be about Dana Terrace's new show coming out.
Also that. Dana Terrace is getting a show on the YouTube channel Glitch, which has made Murder Drones, The Amazing Digital Circus. What's The Amazing Digital
You're
Circus?
just saying words at this point.
Let me tell you, Nick, you've definitely seen busty women cosplaying as it.
That's one way to get my attention.
You ever seen
What was that? Murder?
Amazing Digital Circus?
Okay, I don't know
You
how I
ever,
got
you ever
murdered.
see a girl with big boobs dressed as a sexy clown and you're like, is that like a Fizzaroli thing? It's not.
The Amazing Digital. I actually have seen a lot of. Oh, I know exactly.
Yup.
I know. Yes. Okay.
What'd you look up?
This
Just-
one. I've seen that one a lot. The little
Yup.
clown, but slap some D's on that bitch.
Yup.
This doesn't seem like an overtly sexualized thing. Why are the busty women's? Why are they being the clowns?
I don't know, but if you look up Amazing Digital Circus cosplay, it's all the clown.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's not even just like
We're gonna keep this tab.
that's a tip.
We're gonna go ahead and keep this tab open.
Anyway.
Oh, no, this is not. I'm like 7 swipes in here. Not a single busty lady. How dare you?
I mean, well,
You lied to me.
it's more about the thighs with these images.
You're a big thigh guy.
Well, I mean, it's women. I said it was women.
It is women. That I will take that. I concede that point.
Anyway, I don't know anything about the Amazing Digital Circus,
Women.
but yeah, they put out those shows. Murder Drones is fucking rad.
That was when everyone was yelling at you to watch.
Well, I've been sitting on the reaction. Like, I've watched it all.
Gotcha.
The reaction videos just haven't come out yet.
Gotcha.
Because I can't, people get really mad if I abandon a show halfway through.
Yeah.
So now I'm like, okay, well, I'm wrapping up Arcane. Then I got to do Link Click Season 2 because Link Click Season 3's here.
Yep.
And so,
4 episodes are already out, mind you.
gee willikers.
I mean, they're all still in Chinese, though, so you can't react to it.
Give it to me.
Give it to you in English.
Give it to me in English.
Yeah, okay, yeah. The dub is so good.
I'll just call up Alejandro Saab and I'll be like, can you just do all the voices?
How many does he do?
Cheng.
Okay, that's just it.
Yeah.
Okay, well we'll
But
figure
I'll
it
tell
out.
him to do more.
I'll do another one.
Yeah, do the rest.
I'll do fucking Lu Guang.
Yeah.
I'll fucking get it there.
But yeah, so anyway, Dana Terrace has a new show coming out on Glitch. They do like very sick indie animation stuff with like great budgets. Like all those shows look great.
Based off what I saw from the trailer, it looks really cool.
It looks really cool. It's also like not a kid show, which is exciting. It's gonna be cool to see her.
I don't have to deal with fucking Gus's ass.
Yes.
So sick of him. I'm in an illusion. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, I guess.
Get Ida back on the screen. Put her in her harpy form.
I'm excited to see what Dana does, like uninhibited by Disney.
I love that. Cool. That brings us to our favorite part of the episode where me and Danny poll our live audience to ask us a question here that we answer here live on the podcast. It's time for love letters. So if you guys want to watch the podcast live, get 2 hours of additional Nick and Danny content a month, and also get to ask us questions that we answer here live on the podcast, you can join over on the Patreon. So Danny, collect me their souls. So Lily the Raccoon asks, what anime character would you want to be our president? The president of the United States.
President of the United States, I feel like Shikamaru would do a bang up job because he's strategic as hell.
Yep.
He's always 11 steps ahead of his opponent. He's got the Riz.
Yep.
So you want a charming.
He landed Tamari. I mean, through no will of his own, but he still landed Tamari.
Landed Tamari. You want a charming, charismatic president.
Yeah.
You want a president who's going to be kind of off your ass. That's what I enjoyed about Biden. 4 years went by. I didn't hear a damn thing about him.
But he was just decaying in a back room
He
somewhere.
was just rotting and wandering into the rainforest.
Yep.
And
and
that
just
was
finding the closest ice cream place that the Secret Service could cover him to get to.
a good president is like a good landlord. You'll never hear from them unless you need to.
Yep.
And they just fix shit while you're at work.
Yep.
And so I think Shikamaru would be great.
Very interesting you say that, because Shikamaru just recently, he's doing some things in the manga right now in Boruto. He just recently greenlit a strike to kill what he essentially thought were children. So, very U.S. presidential of him.
Oh, no.
There is entities in the Boruto manga that are referred to as, they're called Shinju. And so Shikamaru created a plan. The Shinju are brand new, and he knows that one of the Shinju has a crush on Konohamaru. So he says, hey, Konohamaru, trick her into liking you, separate her from her other Shinju brethren, and then fucking assassinate her. Which people were very morally they're like, oh, what's going on here?
Oh no, my political values have come under scrutiny.
So everyone was like, is it the right choice to make? It objectively kind of is, but morally it's also kind of wrong.
Yeah.
So he has to make the hard choices. So it's not a bad choice for president. It's just very funny you say that while Shikamaru is actively being compared to Donzo in Boruto.
Oh boy, oh boy.
Yeah, it's fun.
Wow. Who?
Doubly topical.
Yeah, boy, is it.
Yep.
Who would you pick?
Naruto.
Naruto?
Yeah. Nothing ever goes wrong when Naruto's in charge. No. Fucking everyone's too afraid to do anything when Naruto's in charge. That or Hashirama.
So you want a physically strong president?
I want a physically strong
tyrant, if you will.
I want nuclear deterrence to be the man. Yeah. That's what I want.
Dude, I still think if you want to be president, you got to fight and kill the previous.
That's the best possible way to do it.
You know what? you know what's good about that too?
Because then we'd have a country of warriors. A country of people. Hey, you want to be president? You better fucking train.
Yeah. We'd have a country of warriors. Also, it would deter any random Joe Schmo from being president because it's a life sentence at the end of 8 years.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, assuming you don't win, assuming you don't keep the belt.
Yeah.
Imagine the fucking pay-per-view numbers on the presidential death match.
You're saying there's no limit to
I'm saying
terms.
there's no limit. If you can defend your title,
True.
you get to stay president.
Every 4 years, he'll get weaker, ideally.
100%.
Yeah.
But like it's like the World Cup. You only get so many windows to be the president. You got to run when you're like mid-20, and then you can only hope to be president until you're like 45, when some 21-year-old Brazilian jiu-jitsu instructor comes and kicks your shit in backwards.
Yeah, I think that'd be good.
That'd be dope as hell. Only problem is then all of our presidents would have like pretty crippling like brain damage, which like, you know what? Already kind of have.
Oh, our presidents have the brains of rotting avocados.
And then the oldest you can get your president is like 45 max.
Which is sick.
Which is great. That's ideal. But the ideal ruling window is 20 to 45.
Yeah.
That's the way it's been for years.
I know. We need way, way, way younger presidents. We gotta cap voting.
Gotta fucking kill him. Kill him.
We gotta kill him. We gotta cap voting at like 30.
30. That's bold.
America would become such a party.
Dude, you're telling me I get 2 more years of voting? Yeah. I'm actually down for that. I'm actually really down for that. I would love to be stripped of responsibility.
Yeah.
I'd just be like, live in the country where I'm like, it's going to shit. And I'm like, I can't vote. You know, things happen. You know, I wish I could go out and vote, but I just can't.
Here, capped at 30, brought down to 7.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
So it starts younger.
Because then you really got to change your platform. You got to be like, hey, double the nap time. And then you're fucking rolling in the 8 to 12 demos.
No, you think kids want more nap time?
I think kids want more nap time.
I think kids want to abolish nap time, but once you're in the nap, let me sleep.
Okay.
Don't fucking wake me up.
Okay, so limitless nap time went in. How about this? I listen.
Consensual nap time.
I'm running on the platform of I'm running on the reverse Michelle Obama. I'm running on snacks for everybody.
Okay.
You know, I'm getting these kids fat, but I'm also getting their vote.
Gotcha.
And then a generation of fat kids growing up, right? And they're loving these snacks. They're never going to be able to usurp me, right? I'm getting a whole.
I like how you go a Trump route, where you're like, I want to ruin the people so they can't come for me.
I gotta keep people weak if I'm gonna roll over them, baby. Yeah. That's me.
That's fair.
the inherent issue with politics.
Yeah, that's
all right,
true.
guys. We appreciate you checking in for us this week. We love you so much. We will see you next week when we talk about basically the same things we're talking about right now. If you guys haven't wished Danny a happy birthday, make sure you do so. He's 26. He's 2 years younger than me, which, you know, I'll outlive him. That's fine.
2 years younger than Nick. 2 years left on this planet. Let's go.
There's nothing past 28. There's nothing past 28. Don't let people tell you that there's something past 28.
Yep.
You die at 29 just immediately. Everybody else is a ghoul.
Everyone at 29 should be executed.
That's the platform, baby. 30 years cap. That's all you need. Imagine what you could get done in 30 years if you knew at 30 you'd die.
I can't imagine.
Dog, you'd be working at like 8 and you'd be retired by like 18.
Yeah. Oh, and the next like fucking 12 years, you're just partying?
Dog,
That's
if you
awesome.
told me I could be retired by 10.
I'm pretty sure we'd literally be Sparta. Pretty sure that is Sparta.
If you told me I was retired by 10, I'd give up life at 30.
Yeah.
If you told me I had like I was like cleared financially and had 20 years to do whatever I want with the best years of my life, I'd die at 30.
Yeah, I agree.
100%.
I agree.
Fucking everything past 50 is a joke. All right, guys, we love you so much and goodbye.
Bye.